2nd and 8 now from the 10. .5:12 to go. Braves and Stallions tied at 14. Here's Haru rolling right. Completes it and is caught. Donovan Brown, touchdown Indian River with 4:57 to play. And the Braves have broken the tie with the Stallions for a third time this afternoon. Haru puts it on the button to a third different pass catcher who finds Pater.
That's an awesome play there. And number 11 has come through for them this half.
Donovan Brown with the 10-yard TD reception.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV, wherever you are tuning in with us on this Thanksgiving weekend. We say a happy belated Thanksgiving to all of you out there. I am Matthew Hatfield. My partner in crime is missing. We don't know where he is. Allegedly, there's a JV basketball practice going on somewhere, or a varsity practice. I have no earthly idea. He doesn't answer texts or calls. So I'm here with you solo until he shows up or decides to communicate back to me. But we have a lot in store for you nonetheless. We will power through without Coach Young as we greet you on this particular Saturday, the final one of November 2025. We've got all kinds of high school football interviews, sound, reaction, plus it's a mega weekend of college football. The Buckeyes, the Wolverines, Ohio State, Michigan, the other guys. Oh, by the way, the Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn. Oh, that's a good one too. And UVA, Virginia Tech, the Hoos, who have dropped 23 of the last 25 meetings against the Hokies. I heard someone out there didn't like me finishing the show last week with gobble gobble, but the Hokies trying to gobble gobble and screw things up for UVA on its quest to the ACC championship. They're 3-8. They got James Franklin coming in. They're trying to mess it up. Will UVA let them in the Commonwealth Cup rivalry clash? It's going to be the final game for the interim man, Philip Montgomery. Tony Elliott trying to get his team, which has been revved up offensively. Can they get it done? They're favored by 8.5 in this matchup. So we shall see. We shall see. We're going to hear from Carter Jones, top of the hour of the Poquoson Bull Islanders 2. You saw one of those clips we showed you moments ago from one of the playoff games. We'll go through the brackets. We'll give you all the high school football fixins. I think Ed Young is missing, by the way. Here's the dirty little secret. He was bragging about his 2-game lead on me in the picks, folks. Bragging about it. Feeling so good and confident. And I think every disagreement we had, which you can find all the picks, in-depth 24 region final breakdowns on VirginiaPreps.com. with my selections, Ed's, and the Massey ratings. He went from up, 7 or so in the regular season. I caught him. Came back and caught him. Rallied. And I think now that 2-game lead he had has turned into a 2-game deficit. Although I don't want to get too confident, cocky, overconfident, because we have some disagreements in play today with some region finals. We'll have them scroll across our ticker here in just a moment as we go through the brackets with all of you out there. But you saw the clip. We were fortunate enough to broadcast for you. We appreciate all you tuning in. It was really our first, I think, live high school football playoff game we've done on Cova Sports TV. The NFHS camera was not working for Green Run. The folks there reached out to us. We were more than happy to come out there and do the game. And again, you can check out all the great NFHS championship games on the NFHS network today. I believe my man Andy Hayes is doing the Madison and Westfield game later on today. There's a bunch of great games. Use some of those promo codes I've been sharing on Virginia Preps if you can find those. But We have the game archived for yesterday. If you missed it on Cova Sports TV with Indian River and Green Run, as Coach Darnell Moore and I gave you the call of that, and we'll show you some more clips of that in just a bit. We showed you the one touchdown pass that broke the tie with Donovan Brown catching it from Lord Malik Carew. And wouldn't you know, Eureka! Oh, there he is! He's in the gymnasium, folks. Now joined us. He's got his equipment working. He's got his devices working. It's amazing when you call people in power, and then you tell them that your basketball coach is missing, and boom, he finally gets back to you. Now, can he hear me? I think he can hear me. I hear him whispering to somebody. Can you hear me, Ed? You out there?
That's my head manager, Jada. Jada, say hello to everybody.
Oh, you got Jada's out there. Jada's live. Does she know she's worldwide? Jada better know that she better be careful. This is seen by millions and millions of people out there. We thank Derek out there for sending us a big ups for streaming the game and watching and interacting with us this morning. Jada didn't want to say hi. We see you on the screen. I don't know if you can hear me, though. We see Ed moving his camera. I don't know if he can hear a thing. He's probably got his volume muted. But it's better this way when we just see him and we don't hear what he's saying. Oh, now he's gone. He disappeared. He totally disappeared. See, that's what happens when you get people that are not technologically savvy trying to work technology. So you get some dicey results. Get some dicey results. Morning, guy. Hey, Bob Leadham's watching this morning. Good morning, Bob. Listen, Bob, you can work your phone, your tablet, your computer touchpad better than Ed can because he literally just logged off because he didn't know what he was doing. And yeah, that's right, Caleb. Technical difficulty moments in a nutshell. Yep, Caleb. It's like grandpa or grandma trying to work something when they get that new gadget for Christmas and then wrap it in the box and they go, "What is this? What is this gizmo?" And they can't get it working. That's it. He's trying to figure it out. We heard he's got his manager Jada with him. We didn't see Jada. He should hand the phone to Jada because she can figure it out better than Ed. Charles, good morning to you out there in Louisa land. No, it was a tough one for your line. Still had a great year as Huguenot ended their season. Big one today in the Region 4B final, which we'll touch on as Huguenot plays host to Verona, who's been my pick from day one. I took a little bit of flack from some, not a lot, but when we had Verona stay number one ahead of Dinwiddie and others with a couple losses, and Ed gave me flack, by the way, in the offseason for having them ahead of Phoebus, having lost the state championship to Phoebus last year. I told him Phoebus graduated like 18, 19 starters. And Phoebus, who had a great run in the playoffs, knocking off their rival in the Hampton Crabbers last week, much to my surprise, much to my shock. And Ed got that one right over me. They had their season come to an end on Friday in a tough loss to the Lafayette Rams at Warner Stadium in Williamsburg. I saw some people chirping on social media, which I shouldn't pay attention to this, about there should have been a penalty on the punt return. I think it was Nayron Hudson or Jael Love. I believe it was Nayron Hudson that ran it back for Lafayette. I didn't see a hold or a block or anything that was illegal. I think Lafayette beat you clean, fair, and square. And Phoebus, you should be proud of what you've done. 4 straight state titles, and I think you're going to be back sooner than later in the championship conversation because as long as you have Jeremy Blunt leading the ship, you're going to be right there, and you have a lot of good ones coming back that are freshmen and sophomores that contributed and got better as the season progressed after it was rocky in the middle part of the year. So I don't think there's anything to worry about over there in Phoebus land. So there you have it. Let's go through some of the scores now and pop up some sounds, some music, if we will, in the background for all of you. No, we don't want that one. We want a little bit more. We're going to Tigers beat Thomasdale 48-7. Yes, that score is right. It's not a misprint. In the region championship, 48-7, a thumping of the Knights, who they still have some bad memories from when they lost to them in the 2009 state semifinals. Trying to go back-to-back with Philip Sims and that crew. Well, it was all Oscar Smith in this one. They literally, from an offensive standpoint, when you throw in the return yardage, 530 all-purpose yards. I think they outgained them 437-64, 20 first downs to 4 for the Dale Knights. It was not pretty for Dale. Got an 80-yard kickoff return from Micah Flowers after Oscar Smith's first rushing touchdown from Reginald Wallace, but then an interception at the goal line as that pick allowed Oscar Smith to get momentum back and piece together a 96-yard drive. That INT coming from the one and only Xavier Clarkson, who we'll talk about with Coach Chris Scott coming up of the Tigers in just a moment. You'll hear him. I'm not just a moment, maybe in a few moments. We'll also caught up with Lonnie Andrews III, the UVA commit and junior quarterback, as well as 4-star wide receiver Travis Johnson to get their take on the game, what's ahead for the Tigers, and what their favorite dessert / Thanksgiving side fixing is. I think we now have Coach Young back with us, if he can hear us. We've got you on the screen, Ed. Now the question is, can you hear us and see us?
Loud and clear.
Oh, perfect. I knew your manager, Jada, who you were trying to get connected with you, could work your phone better than you can. And we tell people that folks like yourself that are a little technologically challenged, sometimes you get those gizmos, you unwrap them for Christmas and you don't know what in the world you're doing with it. So I'm glad you got her to help you troubleshoot.
Jada, I'm going to get Jada some FaceTime right now. This is Jada.
All right, there's Jada. Hey, Jada, thank you for making sure you powered through Ed's phone because he don't know what he's doing with that thing half the time. So we appreciate you out there. I don't know if she can hear me, but she's working hard. What do you have? You have a varsity JV scrimmage situation today? Something of that sort. Don't you practice? You got something going on in the gym today.
Yeah, of course. You know he's the best.
Oh, he's not the best. He's paid you to say that. But I appreciate that you're getting compensated in some way, shape, or form for all the hard work he's making you do. So good job, Jada. Thank you for helping Ed stay afloat here on this particular Saturday.
That's my lead manager. Jada got to take care of business. She's actually getting some paperwork that I have not done in 2 weeks, and she's taking care of that. Okay. And without her, I'd be in trouble. JV's a scrimmage today. Varsity, we went a little overtime today because their listening technique wasn't real good today, and I had to make sure that before we leave this floor, there's an understanding amongst us, and they got it.
Okay, well, I don't know if it's always the listening technique or sometimes the tardiness of the sideline general, the big whistle leading the way. There he is. Bob Lanham says he says hey to you this morning, Coach, and Woodrow Wagner out there saying hello as well. And we mentioned Caleb and Charles and Derek watching on the stream as well. Smithfield Highs reposted the stream as well, which is great to see. Packers have their season opener in hoops, and we're going to talk some hoops. I don't know how long we're going to be on today, Ed, but we're going to do maybe even a small hoop special. We'll figure something out for the TV portion of the show coming up on Monday and over the weekend here. A lot to go over and cover on the program. And we have Patience Man chiming in. Fellas, do you find it weird Oscar Smith has to travel to a lower seed for the state semi, which we're going to get to? Yes, I do find it weird to answer your question, Patience Man. Glad you have patience and you're the man watching our show and interacting with us this morning. And if you heard me before, and I'll say it again and I'll reiterate it, every classification should do what Class 4 is doing, which we'll show you. Reseed when you get to the state semis. This should be across the board, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, you name it. I want 1 versus 4. I want 2 versus 3. I want the best 2 teams in the final. I don't care if they're from the 757, the 804, the 703, the 123, LMNOP. Give me the 2 best. And yes, Smith should host in the state semi. But Patience Man, you can't use that as an excuse if you do take an L against Madison or Westfield. I don't think you will, number 1. But number 2, sometimes you have to go on the road to win it. They've hosted plenty of state semis. They'll be all right. Do I love it? No. Do I find it weird? A little bit. But I think once more administrators see what takes place with Class 4 and how they're doing it this year, I think they'll come around eventually. So keep the faith is all I'll say. You got a quick thought on that, Ed?
No, I agree with you. The regions need to be more streamlined. I know the state says to the regions, get us some teams, however you do it. And each region is going to say, we do what's best for our region. We don't really care what the other regions are doing. Well, you need to care. It has to be streamlined because the general public thinks the state is running it, and the state says we're not. Then again, I also come back and say, well, why are you not running regionals? You can streamline it, make it more streamlined. And I agree. On paper, 1 versus 2 should be the best teams. And it could easily be 4 and 3. When you get to the playoffs, it can be 4. But let's go on paper what it is. The 2 best records should meet in the final. If they don't get there, that's fine. Those other teams did their job, and they're there. But, yes, I agree with you. We got to get the best into our state tournament.
He says no excuses. I just don't see other classifications that way. Well, here's what I'll tell you. And I won't go super in depth because I had some conversations with people in positions of power. When you get those people in those meetings, in those rooms, and certain regions or certain areas of the state want it one way and other areas of the state want it a different way, you have to come up with a compromise. But some people don't get it their way. And I think the ones that see it my way will eventually have those others come around to the way we see it. So that's what it comes down to. That's what it boils down to in the big picture, the bolts and nuts of the whole.
And I'm going to add an addendum to your speech. I still think if you're not 500, you don't belong in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Well, you're saying something that Eddie Hendricks said last night, but I say that you guys are right on that. However, it's going to be too complicated to say Region 6B, which has 20-something teams, is going to end up having 9 teams over 500, or then you have a region that has, like, let's say Lake Taylor's region this year, 3A is weaker. You only have 3 to 4 teams that are over 500. It just becomes too complicated. I think that the simplest way to fix this is go 6 teams get in, 1 and 2s get buys. You play 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. And by the way, Region 6A got that right. Class 6 across the board, along with Class 5 and some other classifications. Didn't quite get that right. So there you have it. Charles says nothing but respect for you, Coach Young. But as a wrestling coach, a gym floor should be covered with wrestling mats on Saturday. There you go, Charles.
Wait a minute. Did he fall and bump his head? The wrestling has a ring with ropes around it. What are we talking about? Mats on the floor. That's elementary Saturday morning. No, it's a gym with baskets on it. Okay, you can wrestle outside. You can't play basketball outside unless
you can't wrestle outside. It's freezing out there. By the way, it was cold on Friday night. It was so cold I had to do the interviews without my gloves on, and I thought I was going to get frostbite and my fingers were going to freeze off. It was cold. I was glad.
That's why I coach basketball. We're indoor sport.
Oh my God! I'm glad Coach Moore and me got to broadcast that game inside the Green Run press box, nice and toasty and roasty, and also in the Oscar Smith press box. Got to hang out with Merlin Vaughn and the gang up there at Beard DeLong Easley Field. All right, let's go down here. You see 6B, Woodbridge, North Stafford. I'm pulling up our picks, by the way, now I have taken the lead on you in the picks.
I got destroyed.
Nana, boo-boo. I beat you, but there were some surprises we'll get to. Woodbridge, North Stafford. We both have North Stafford winning today. Me by 8, 36-28. You by 12, 33-21. The Massey ratings have 35-27 Woodbridge. So we'll see if the Massey ratings, which is beating both of us right now, ends up taking it. You're absolutely right. That restless outside basketball players can. All right, let's go down to Occoquan Region 6C. West Springfield, Lake Braddock today. We differ on this game. Remember, down 28-13 regular season. It was a comeback for West Springfield, 34-31. My man, Dylan Booby Wickham. I love me some Dylan Booby Wickham. He was the player of the year in the Patriot District. He ran for 242 yards, a career high in the last meeting. I've got it, Lake Braddock 27-20. Massey agrees with me, 33-28 Bruins, but you got it West Springfield 24-20. So you have to hold on to West Springfield to have any hope to come back against me down by 2 games.
Yeah, I thought I was down way more. I heard some of the scores. I thought, I didn't pick them, unless I was wrong. So I'm going to go West Springfield. I got to go out on a limb to get my lead back. And who's this Massey dude that now takes the lead? Who is Massey?
It's Jerry Massey, who does the computer ratings. He does it for all sports, by the way. He does it across nationwide. He's got a computer system. He does it for pro, college, high school. First of all, we were beating him early in the year, but as the season progresses and uses data, it's all data-driven, the data tends to win out. So that's why right now we're getting crushed, although you're getting more crushed than I am at the moment. I have a puncher's chance to come back on him, but I have to carve out a little bit of a game plan against the Massey ratings, which are very, very sharp once you get to November and they get more data to make its picks and prognostications. Meanwhile, Region 6D today, I mentioned Andy's going to be on the call on this on NFHS. I'll be watching it this afternoon. Westfield and Madison. Remember, Westfield won 17-16 back in October, ended a 7-game losing streak in the series. The winner of this game will host Oscar Smith in the state semis. You've got it, sir. Madison 27-18. They beat Centerville last week in overtime. Massey and I both have Westfield winning it. Me closer than him, 28-24. Massey 34-20. You got faith in Justin Counts and the Warhawks, and you're a big believer of, much like you were with Phoebus, and you were right last week. Wasn't right last night. Been there before. That experience matters this time of the year, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Now, my only thing, the weather's still cold. And if you're a throwing team, that could be an issue. Even a running team, you got to hold on to the ball because that ball is going to feel like an ice ball out there. But both teams are in the element, so you can't use weather as an excuse.
No, this is true. This is very, very true. All right, so you see the state matchups between 6. Madison and Westfield will host Oscar Smith. It should be 11-1, not 10-1. We apologize about that. We'll get that fixed later. Woodbridge and North Stafford will host West Springfield or Lake Braddock. It's predetermined no matter what. I don't love that. Some do it off power rating, like Class 5, which we'll get to here in a second. Others different there. Let's go back to some more highlight clips, though. He showed you a big play, the touchdown from Donovan. What can Brown do for you from Lord Malik Carew? Here was one of the key plays. Well, we'll show you first how Green Run got back in the game. That they were down 7-0 at the break. Third quarter, though, they go to Action Jackson, the Old Dominion Monarch commit, and he strikes not on the ground, but through the air. The short pass.
Split backfield look now. Ashcraft looks to his right. Now he's going to roll out. Throws it on a crosser. Catching it is CJ. Charles Jackson gets the block from Cleveland. How about the receiver blocking? And Charles Jackson could take him a distance. 15, 10, 5. Charles Jackson takes it all the way. And Green Run is on the board with a 61-yard touchdown. Luke Ashcraft, the future Old Dominion Monarch. Charles Jackson. And the Stallions are now an extra point away from tying this up. But how about the blocking downfield by Xavion Cleveland to help make it possible?
That was terrific, and that allowed him to tiptoe right on the line.
Tiptoe like Ed does when he's going into the refrigerator late at night and he's got the relatives over, doesn't want to wake up anybody. He tiptoes to get that extra. Go ahead.
Speaking of tiptoe to refrigerator, I know I shouldn't say this on the air.
Uh-oh.
Had a good Thanksgiving. I cooked for myself.
Right.
Did a great job. I didn't cook a lot because it's just me and the pooch. Yesterday, I paid a price.
Oh, did you really?
I was in the bathroom more than I should have been all day, night long.
You know what? It's funny you say that.
I don't know what I ate, but it was, oh my God. I don't even want to get into it. It was the worst ever. Let me just say this. My dog's at the groomer's getting his spa day in. On the way there, I had to pull over on the interstate. So if anybody saw me, this is embarrassing. I had to pull over on the interstate and I guess the best word to use is hurl on the sperm.
Oh no!
That's how bad it was. Horrible. Anybody that saw me, I apologize, but I was hurting that bad.
No, you didn't. No, but first of all, I've had a busy week. I've had like 4 Old Dominion games in 7 days. I had the 2 high school games yesterday, all over the place, moving and grooving. The family has the Thanksgiving. You get leftovers and things. So dummy me, and this is when on my diet 4 or 5 years ago, you always are told and taught, don't eat too much late at night and don't eat too much in one sitting. So I tried to break it up, the 2 big plates in 2 different sittings. And speaking of bathroom, before my trip to Dahlia Drive on Friday morning, I did what you did without the hurling. Oh, my goodness. I mean, bad.
We're all friends on the show. Everybody out there has been through what I yesterday. Okay. It was to the bathroom one way and then quickly turn around and do it the other way. And then quickly turn around and do it the other way. And I'll leave the imagination for those out there that have been through that. I've never went through that.
I want to imagine it. No.
How bad it was. I've got a ton of leftovers in the refrigerator that I'm thinking about pitching today because I cooked the turkey for 3.5 hours, like it says.
Do that. No. Don't pitch it. Give it to the needy. Do that. Don't pitch it. Give it to the needy.
I don't know. You're right, but it's it's food that's been sitting in there now for 24. So I don't know if I should do that. But I'm a little. I even bought homemade pies. Can't say where it's from because they don't sponsor us. It's in Suffolk. She does the best. I've had 1 slice total.
That's what I'm saying. Give it to the needy. And it's just like if you're one of those guys that's watching, if you're watching Florida against TCU and you're deciding to go one way or the other on the point spread or the live in play, you take a risk on that. It can either bite you in the butt or pay off for you. So some people out there are needy. They'll take that risk on that pie. That 1 slice of pie, they'll take the chance. I think they'll take the gamble on the pie.
2 things. Don't say but. Don't say but. I had enough but the last 2 days. And number 2, you're frozen on my screen.
Oh, it must be you. It must be you're going in and out.
This is what I see of you right now.
That's what you see of me?
That's
it. No, it should be good. While you're saying that, I'll check the actual live stream to make sure that I'm good on my end. But I don't think I think it's just your phone's having some issues is what I think it is.
Okay, but you're coming in loud and clear, so we're good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just go check it while we're talking just to make sure. Yeah, I'm moving right now as I look at the device. So, But so during break, you can recalibrate if need be. Oh, here we go. Derek got a speeding ticket by telling the officer I was headed to the bathroom. We've been there. We wish we could show us Jada. She's on the floor rolling right now. I'm sure she is if she's listening to this. She is. That's right. She is.
She left with a big laugh. She was laughing.
I don't know how we got from Coach Moore giving us the tiptoe got us on that topic. So we'll blame Darnell, though we love Darnell. But the other clip, we go back to the game. Go ahead.
It's easy to blame Darnell. He's a longtime coach. He's used to getting a lot of blame for stuff. But he also should get a lot of blame for all those wins too.
Correct. So that made it 7-7. We get to the fourth quarter. We're going to save some more highlights and some interviews here in a second. It's 7 apiece. 8 seconds in, when Green Run's got the momentum met and you come back, what do you need? You need a silencer. And the Braves got that through the air. Sometimes they say, Lord says you got to rise up. And Lord Malik Carew rose up yet again.
First and 10, Indian River, Green Run 42.
From the 42-yard line of Green Run, here's Lord Malik Carew taking a deep shot down the field. He's got him in. Elijah Boggs, he is there, and he's got the touchdown catch as he beat the defender. Elijah Boggs hauling it in from Lord Malik Carew, and the Braves have reclaimed the lead. 42-yard scoring strike, and I believe, Coach Moore, that's touchdown pass number 11 this postseason for the 9th grade Sugarman from Chesapeake.
That's terrific there, man. That's great.
What a deep ball. And what a silencer, just when Green Run had gotten back in it.
Green Run was back in it, but they would come back and tie the game again, Ed. Xavion Cleveland, who we mentioned had that block for Charles Action Jackson, the ODU pledge, ends up catching a touchdown pass from 21 yards out, courtesy of Luke Ashcraft, and it was 14-all. However, the Braves got that score to take the lead back, and really what set them up, though, they missed the extra point, 20-14. But before they got that touchdown, they were deadlocked at 14-all midway through the fourth quarter. It's nip and tuck, 3rd and 8 inside their own 10. And here's what Malik Carew did.
That's a big reason, but I think all of those points they've been scoring.
Lord Malik Carew is going to get some room to run. And how about some offense? Coach Moore says as he scrambles all the way to the 35-yard line. He's stopped by Tayron Whitehead. Oh, my goodness. Lord Malik Carew, known for his arm talent.
I was telling one of the Braves assistant coaches walking off the field Friday before my trek over to Chesapeake and bearded along Easley Field, that play won the game for Indian River because I know it didn't score. If Green Run stops them there, they're getting the ball most likely on the other side of the 50, tied up at 14. That play helped engineer the 97-yard go-ahead drive as he was able to get a key scramble. We see all the great quarterbacks do it, even the pros, the Patrick Mahomeses, though he lost to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jackson, some of your better quarterbacks, when they come through those big scrambles on a 3rd down, we've seen the greats do it, the John Elways, the Steve Youngs, it matters. And that helped the Braves get themselves a region title for the 2nd time in 3 years.
Yeah, you're right. In terms of big plays, they're usually going to lead to something else, obviously, to get a win. You know, I kind of really thought hard about this game. Green Run been going well. I just felt it was Green Run's year, but, Indian River probably was their biggest test and obviously came out to that 2014 win for Indian River.
And you see Morial winner over Kings Fork 49-6. We'll get to that in a second. But let's give you some sound from the game. Post-game, we caught up with a couple of the Braves, Ed. Jason Preston for a short moment, one of the key receivers for Indian River, also played defensive back and had a big role in that effort, as well as Corey Sanderlin, two-way lineman. Here are their thoughts with us after the big win for the Braves on Cova Sports TV.
Go, guys, let's go.
All right, here with Indian River, Jason Preston. 4 catches today, 71 yards. Played some key moments on defense as well. How's it feel to win this region championship today for Green Run on the road? Second time in 3 years.
Yes, this is definitely the second time. But firstly, I got to thank Coach B. And throughout the whole offseason, he been preaching to us that this a team right here that's going to win it all.
To win this game, they battled back and tied you up twice. What did you guys have to show in that final drive? It felt like you were going to take some shots down the field, and you liked your one-on-one matchup.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's what they've had to do. Take advantage of the one-on-one matchup. I feel like we got the best receiver core in the state, and it's only up from here.
He's only a freshman, but your quarterback, Lord Malik Carew. How good is this guy in poison? How about his 3rd and 8 run? What were you thinking there? Just thinking, oh, no, they might get the ball back.
Yeah, oh, man. I was on the ground watching. I'm like, please go. But I love that kid to death.
How's it feel to win this? You guys do it against an undefeated team, number 1 seed. It's got to be pretty sweet.
Yes, this is honestly amazing, and it feels like a dream come true.
Well, congrats. Go enjoy it, and we'll see you next week in the state playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, here with Indian River two-way senior lineman Corey Sanderlin, who recovered the fumble to help his team preserve the lead and win it over Green Run 20-14 in the region championship. Corey, this was a dogfight, but you guys pulled it out. How'd you do it? Tell me about that play where you recovered a fumble to seal the deal for your guys.
Hey, man, I was getting triple teamed all night, so by the time I got off the block and looked up, he was right there, so all I knew was to grab him, and then he had the ball loose. So I'm reaching at the arm mid-tackle every time, and then I slid perfectly on the ball. It was just perfect play.
You've been known as an all-state offensive lineman from a couple years ago, now playing defensive line 2 now at Indian River. You were chasing that quarterback for Green Run all game long. What was the strategy and game plan coming in to bottle up that offense, which you did for almost most of the game?
I just knew we was better. Okay. So I was using my speed and my quickness. They were some big boys, so I'm just running around them, mixing it up with power and finesse, getting home.
How much was the confidence from all the battles you had in the Southeastern District this year with Oscar Smith and Kings Fork and Anthem? Did you guys feel like those games prepared you for these moments?
Oh yeah, definitely. They gotta walk to the playoffs. We already knew what it was gonna be. We in the SED.
Sure. I feel like you're one of the more underappreciated linemen in the area and the state. Your coach, Brendan Carr, told me that since the offseason. What makes you tick as a lineman? What makes you effective in your eyes?
Wait, hold on.
What makes you effective? Is it your film study? Is it your
no, not my film study. It's just the fight I bring to the game. Like, I'm never laying down to nobody.
Sure. You enjoyed Thanksgiving yesterday, right?
Yeah, I ain't eat too heavy though.
You didn't eat too heavy?
I didn't want to be sluggish.
Now that you could win the game, you can eat a little bit heavy. What are you going to? What's
turkey wings, right. Cornbread.
You got a dessert you're gonna crush?
Nah, I ain't really a dessert guy.
Okay.
I like the real food.
Next week, you'll be taking on either Highland Springs or Hermitage. I think Highland Springs is up in the state semis. How big would it be to get another win and go into the state championship for Indian River football and for you as a senior, last ride?
Big, man. It'll be big. I'm trying to put the school on the map.
When you watch these Braves play, you'll see number 58 battling in the trenches on the O-line and D-line. Corey Sanderlin, congrats. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was Corey Sanderlin. He eats the real food. Doesn't go for the dessert, but he loves the turkey legs, turkey wings. He said as Indian River wins it, he recovers the fumble after Green Run got the ball back. They were driving the midfield. Again, you can watch this entire game on Cova Sports TV if you missed any of it out there, and all the other games available for folks on the NFHS network through the championship round. We'll have you covered at JMU coming up on December the 13th at Liberty and out in Salem. Salem's got the Class 1 and Class 2 finals. Liberty's got the Class 3 and Class 4 title games, and Lynchburg and Class 6 and Class 5's finales will be held at Harrisonburg's James Madison University, Bridgeforth Stadium. Ed, the linemen don't get the love, the glory, and you'll hear Brendan Carr a little bit later talk about him, but they matter. They help you win it, and he was a factor, pressure in the pocket and blocking, and Indian River 2 times in 3 years now. They've now become the kings of Region 5A. It was Green Run for a while, but we see the SED strength as they send a couple teams on from the 7-5-7 to the state semifinal round. Oscar Smith and Indian River. The Eastern District's got 2 in the likes of Maury and Lake Taylor. And the Bay Rivers District, surprisingly, with 2 in some sense, Lafayette and Poquoson. Shut out are the Beach, and shut out are the teams from the Peninsula District. Your take on that? And yes, by the way, to answer your question, A-Dub, Lake Taylor is in good shape. They don't have to travel. Real quickly, we'll show him the bracket on the screen here and scroll down for you. Lake Taylor, we'll get to those more scores because I know he's asking about this. Lake Taylor's going to play host to Magna Vista, which won its game over Lord Botetourt. But your reaction to what you heard from the 2 kids, Preston and Sanderlin.
Well, I wish I could react to it, but my technical difficulties are not allowing me to see the video or their interview.
Oh, okay.
I can't really react to it other than the fact that it's interesting, maybe disappointing. The Beach has nobody there. Okay. And, we said that Bay Rivers has 2, of course, 2 different classifications. And Lake Taylor and Maury are going to represent Eastern Region. Hats off to Indian River. They beat a really good Green Run team that, has been snake bit here a little bit the last couple of years. They have great regular season, but you've got to do it in the playoffs too. And Indian River, who, beginning of the year, we didn't give them as much love to them maybe as we were doing to Oscar Smith and Kings Fork, even Nansemond River. And then here comes Indian River, and all of a sudden now they're playing in the States.
No, I think it's an excellent point by you because there was always that trepidation. Well, the freshman quarterback's going to play like a 9th grader. He hasn't at all this postseason with 12 touchdown tosses, 5 in the first round, 4 in the second round, 3 in the third round after It recovered well from 2 first-half interceptions against Green Run, and they controlled field position for much of that game. Maury was a winner 49-6 over Kings Fork, and this game was pretty close, actually, Ed. This was a 7-6 lead for the Commodores in the first half, but then Maury erupted. They ended up throttling the Bulldogs, winning it by 43. But here's the bad news. With 5:42 to go in the third quarter, the Pittsburgh commit and heart and soul of that defense, Isaiah Ike Simmons, 3-time All-State performer, suffered a knee injury, had to be carted off on a stretcher. It does not sound good about his availability moving forward. I don't know with certainty, but if they're missing Isaiah Ike Simmons, you remember when they've lost a couple of state semifinals and championship games, they've had some injuries like Nathaniel Booga-Knox. They've had injuries to Peyton Jones, a running back who's at Duke now, Kendall Daniels, a defensive back who is now at South Carolina. Even last year, they missed Ari Watford, who's going to Clemson, but they won comfortably over Briar Woods with a shutout in the state championship game. But if they're missing Ike Simmons, that is a problem for them as they get ready for Stonebridge. I want to show the game recap of Stonebridge's thrilling win over Riverbend in overtime yesterday afternoon. But Maury, they have to be happy, though. Javon Wiggins, the William & Mary commit, broke a 60-yard punt return to the house in the third quarter. He caught a touchdown. Elijah Moss-Williams, the JMU commit, caught a couple of scores, and they were off to the races. Tayshawn Branch with explosiveness, too. The Maury defense now has to cope with the possible loss of Simmons here because that's a big blow if he's unavailable.
Man, I don't even want to hear that. That kid – man, that kid is a heck of a player and deserves to be playing for a championship. That just makes my heart sink. In any injury, let's just get it straight. Any injury to these kids, especially high school kids, is devastating. But a kid that's been playing like that, lights out, top notch, kid that's going to play D1 ball, kid that maybe down the road could be playing the pro. So, to be out, to be carted out, let's just hope it was you can't say nothing major because when it's a knee injury, anything can be major. But let's just give that kid some prayer that he'll be able to get back out there in due time.
No question. We're keeping him in our thoughts and prayers. And remember, we had him after the thrilling triple overtime win over Bishop McNamara. We heard from the kicker, Charles McCoy, who had the game winner. And then Ike was so thrilled for him. He said that was his guy, Chuckatuck. And one of our more engaging interviews, he's got the personality, the leadership of that team. Can they win it without him? They can win it without him. But it becomes much harder to win it without him. Put it that way.
Right. Yeah, Maury is too deep at every position. I've said it all year. And to beat Kings Fork that bad, yeah, they're too deep at every position. But you don't want to lose anybody along the way, especially, like you mentioned, heart and soul of a team.
And then Region 5C, Highland Springs, a winner over Hermitage, 21-13, as Lauren Johnson is back in the spotlight yet again. Eric Bird runs the football well for them. They hold off the Hermitage Panthers with Andre Clark Jr., the Michigan commit who we saw dazzled. Stonebridge, a winner in overtime over Riverbend. I'll show the highlights in a moment, but it gives us a state semifinal matchup of Highland Springs hosting Indian River, Maury traveling to Stonebridge. People in the 757, it'd be nice for a Commodores Braves final. We could get a Bulldog Springers final. They both had the home field, the final set for December 13th at 5 p.m. at JMU. But what a game it was. And again, Maury was dominant in its game against Kings Fork, who was a mighty good team coming in, 11-1. Only loss was to Oscar Smith, the reigning Class 6 champ, who's rolling right now. But the Stonebridge Riverbend game, I told you guys last week, it would be the best of the bunch. Here are some of the highlights, courtesy of our friends on the NFHS Network. Then I'll pass along some stats to get Ed's take on that matchup, Bulldogs and Commodores. Here it was, though, on Friday up in Ashburn.
And I'm telling you, he's going to break a run here, but that Stonebridge is trying to prevent that. And they look physical and they look fast right now. There's Simmons. Simmons on the carry. It's down the sideline. Look out. One man to beat. Simmons off to the races. Touchdown, Riverbend.
Long carry.
Just like that. Seem to have no issues pinning these Bears back into their own territory.
Love this. And receive number 0. Space for us.
Get him. Touchdown. Great.
Leg was down. I think we got ourselves a big 5 minutes left in the third quarter. They've pretty much eaten up the whole third quarter. You can't go scoreless here.
No, you got to get in the end zone. Already had the touchdown run by Justin O called back. Anglin back in the ball game. Shy Campbell to his right. And they're going to give it to him to the left. Touchdown, Bulldogs! What a drive. Great drive. Great drive. Most importantly, no flags. No flags. A great jump off of it and cut it down short. That's just, that's an unfortunate break.
Kicking off for the Bulldogs, number 95, Lowell Blay. Set back to receive the kick, number 0, Mickey Davis, number 4, Camden Simmons.
Here's the kickoff. It'll be a squib kick. And it's going to be caught by Simmons. He's got some running room. Look out. There he goes. Simmons to the house. Touchdown, Riverbend. Looks like he just hurt himself. Got a cramp. Cramped out. Be good. And they start at the 10-yard line. 10-yard line. Anglin in the shotgun. Campbell to his left. And an end around. Keeter's got some running room to the corner. Touchdown, Stonebridge. Bulldogs are on the board. No flags.
So there's some highlights there from that game between Stonebridge and Riverbend, courtesy of the NFHS Network with Andy Hayes on the call. We bring back in the coach, Ed Young, as the Bulldogs won it in overtime over the Riverbend Bears by a count of 20-19. So I don't know if you caught all those highlights, Ed, but Stonebridge's defense got some great numbers from Jason Sterling, who reached out to me about this. They've given up only 58 points in 12 games, 8 total touchdowns. No team has scored more than one scrimmage touchdown against them in regulation. You saw the kickoff by Camden Simmons there. The secondary has given up only 2 passes of 25 yards or more all year. One of those was a 46-yard completion by Dunbar. Champ is the only team with a touchdown pass against them this year, a 19-yarder. The defense allowing less than 1,000 yards from scrimmage. I can go on and on. You got to see these numbers that Jason has, and Riverbend was averaging almost 50 points a game. Now they face a Maury offense averaging 52.5 points per game, and they never get stopped. We thought the Riverbend offense against the Stonebridge defense was the dream matchup. This is the Maury electric, unstoppable offense against the unpenetrable, invincible Stonebridge defense. And oh, by the way, they've met 3 times before in a championship game, 2019. Maury won it 28-21 at Hampton U. They jumped out 28-0. Stonebridge came roaring back. Commodores behind Keandre Lambert-Smith, now of the LA Chargers, held on. 2021 at Old Dominion, Maury had a lead into the fourth quarter. Stonebridge came back behind Jacob Thomas, now at JMU, firing the game-winning touchdown pass as time expired to Zeke Wimbush. And 2023 at UVA in Charlottesville, Maury winning 45-34 to hold off a Stonebridge rally. So what do you think? It's Maury, it's Stonebridge. It has a chance to be a great game, and now you have this uncertainty with Simmons playing more into the equation of who do you go with here. This is a hard game to call. I know that.
Well, first of all, without Simmons there, it's a big hole in the defense.
Yes.
No question about that.
So let me ask this real quick. Does it come down to, in your opinion, more what the Stonebridge offense does against the Maury defense, or more about that great matchup people anticipate between the Maury offense and the Stonebridge defense?
In my mental here, I was thinking in terms of, we're talking Maury offense, very little about their defense. Stonebridge defense, very little about their offense. And you're right, it could come down very much to those particular squads. Of course, a lot of those kids are playing both ways. But normally, when you think about championship-type teams playing each other, almost every level, everybody says defense wins titles. But I like to tend to think people that can really put that pressure on you and put points on the board, that they would have it up. They would have the edge. They would have the edge because scoring is going to be a little easier for an offensive team that's been normally doing it. Not that Stonebridge hasn't. I would love to be in the coaches' meeting of Stonebridge defense. How they put out those fires for Maury, because Maury comes at you more than one way, one type. So it's against the old idea, pick your poison. What can we possibly take away from Maury and still have a great chance to win the game? But at the same time, Maury has to be able to figure, okay, where's the weak link on that defense? What do we use in our repertoire? Because you're not coming up with something brand new. that you haven't practiced all year. And again, I always tell you, these type of teams have something in their back pocket. Maybe they haven't used much during the year, but they're waiting for that time in the playoff game where now, hey, we can use this. And nobody's really seen it a whole lot. And that very well can be in this situation. But I just think, of course, the homer in me says Maury, but I got to feel it's going to be very close. It could be last possession wins.
Okay. Good assessment. We'll come back and go through more of the playoff pictures, including what happened in classes 4, 3, 2, and 1. Blast off. But we have a special guest joining us next after the break. That is Poquoson two-way lineman Carter Jones. His team rallied to win at Armstrong in the 804, fourth straight region title for Elliott Duty's Bull Islanders, who now get a chance for some revenge against the team that ended their season last year, the Strasburg Rams, and it's going to be at Poquoson Middle next week. Oh, it'll be a good one. We'll talk with Carter about that and his recruitment, which has blown up in the past year. He's got 35-plus offers, Ed. We'll talk about all that coming up here on Cova Sports TV. It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back after this word from our sponsors that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and the evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And welcome back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV and interact wherever you are tuning in with us. Ed, we now have with us a special guest on the program. He is a two-way lineman from Poquoson High School, one of the nation's top recruits from the class of 2027 through 11 games this year. I think his stats were looking like this: 38 tackles. He's got 8 for loss, a couple of sacks. He's an all-state performer both sides of the ball, and his team is region champions yet again as they beat Armstrong, coming from behind 19-14 in the region final the day after Thanksgiving. He's got 35-plus offers, I think, and counting. We say hello and congrats to Carter Jones this morning. Carter, thanks for doing this with us. How you been? Had to be sweet to get that win last night, huh?
Yes, sir. It really was. It was a great team victory. I mean, we really put on a show there. We had a ton of Poquoson fans come out, about a 2-hour drive to Armstrong High School, and it was really an amazing moment. Just a beautiful night to play some football.
You guys took the lead on Cody Little's touchdown run. You guys as linemen don't always get the glory, but as a unit, and I know yourself along with Braden Agnews, who was the Bay Rivers District Defensive Player of the Year, how much pride do you take when the game's on the line like that, fourth quarter, taking guys off blocks, running that wing tee, and just trying to use just your will and manpower to make them submit, if you will?
Yes, sir. I really think as an O-line, as a unit, we really play well under Coach Hollingsworth's teaching. And last night we had a very long drive in the fourth quarter. I want to say it took up probably 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, just a straight drive from I think the 15-yard line all the way to the end zone of the other side. So we just kept pounding the rock, and we lived to play another down.
I'm going to bring Coach Young in here to ask you a couple questions in a moment here, Carter, but you're 6'6", you're 290 pounds, 4-star recruit. But one of the things in talking with coaches at Poquoson and people around the area is how grounded you have stayed. How have you maintained the level-headedness and kept focus on everything in front of you and the team bond, the unity? Because it's very easy to get sidetracked and distracted by recruiting, but you've remained focused on the task of winning a region and state championship at Poquoson. Take me through how hectic it's been, but also how fun it's been, because not every kid gets this opportunity to have this many schools recruit them and have the chances to go to different places like you went last week, such as Texas, to check out the Longhorns and Razorbacks in the big SEC game. Tell me how you've handled the whole thing.
It's been a really interesting process for me, and it's been a great process. I've enjoyed every moment of it, really, and I've had a lot of coaches help me along my way, and multiple different people invest in me, and I have to thank my parents and thank God for helping me out, and I have an agent who really helps me out a lot. Coach Isaac, he's been helping me out a lot, and I think for me, it's just been staying with my brothers, staying with my teammates, and just playing football the way it's supposed to be played.
Good deal. We're chatting with Carter Jones. He's a two-way standout and force in the trenches for the Poquoson Bull Islanders, now region champions in 2A for the fourth consecutive year, beating the Armstrong Wildcats 19-14 on Friday night. They'll play host to Strasburg, the team that ended their 2024 season, coming up next Saturday, December the 6th at Poquoson Middle. It's 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Ed?
Hey, Carter, I want to go in depth with you on some of these questions. Now, first,
yes,
I'm a teacher, so I got to ask you. We know you're killing it on the field, but let's be real. What you doing in the classroom?
I had all A's last quarter.
Look at that, all A's.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Okay. I like. Well, see, Carter Hatfield had all A's too because he was absent every day.
Oh, you're rough. You're brutal.
That's why he had all A's. Absent. Yeah. So now, okay, looking forward to. We don't know what school you want to go to yet, but do you know what maybe you want to major in at the college level?
I'm really thinking about majoring in business. I think that'll be a good degree for me. I'm really a math focused kid, and I think math is my strong point.
Okay. Good deal. I thought Ed was about to sell you, Carter. He's a diehard Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan. I thought he was going to sell you on Notre Dame here and make the pitch, which we'll probably do here before we end this interview. But go ahead, Ed. I know you're gonna ask him some more about that. We want to ask about some of the schools recruiting and also what's ahead for this Poquoson team with Strasburg coming up next week.
Yes, sir.
Ed?
Well, my thing, Carter, is Notre Dame in the picture?
They have been for a while. They've been recruiting me since I was a freshman. I still need to make a trip up there and get to see the Irish play, or maybe go on a junior day up there. I've been in contact with Coach Rudolph, who's their offensive line coach, and we've been talking since my freshman year. He invited me up on a game day visit.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Now let's take the people through this.
Carter.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, here Ed's going to cut me off with this. Go ahead. What do you got?
Carter.
Yes,
Stop
sir.
thinking about it and do it. It's Notre Dame. the number one college program in the country of all time. Most Heisman, best lineman, most drafted lineman in the NFL, most drafted lineman in the NFL. Don't let nobody steer you the wrong way. Okay? Touchdown Jesus, so you're going to have Jesus next to you in the game. Okay, you're not going to get that nowhere else. So I'm just, you do what you got to do best for you, but I'm just saying, get up there and look at that campus. You'll be sold.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this, though, Carter. Take us through the places you've seen. You just witnessed the game with Texas and Arkansas. What do you make of the Longhorns? And people are always, how it is with message boards and social media. This is his favorite. These are the schools. But take us through who you've seen and who you like at this point. Not necessarily have a favorite or who's, a top five, but take us through what the update is right now, if you can.
Right. So I've been going a lot of places, really just locking in on some of my top schools and getting to see those schools, as well as I took a few other visits, like so I didn't have an offer at LSU or Texas yet, and I wanted to go see those schools before I released the top 10 and top 12. So I really wanted to see LSU and Texas, and I think those will be good schools for me as well. They both have great environments, great atmospheres. Other schools I'm really interested besides Texas and LSU are Tennessee, Clemson. I'm very interested in Clemson. I've been down there 5 times. Tennessee, I'm really liking their group of O-line coaches. They're just very genuine people, and that atmosphere at Rocky Top's amazing. Also with in-state, I'm really looking at UVA and Virginia Tech. My grandpa actually played defensive end at UVA, so that's a really high school for me. And then some Big Ten schools I'm really looking at has been Ohio State and Penn State, and I'm also really looking at Florida as well.
That's terrific. We're talking with Carter Jones, the two-way standout for the Poquoson Bull Islanders, region champs in 2A yet again as they beat Armstrong 19-14, getting ready to take their record, which is now 12-1 the season at home against Strasburg in the state semis. Carter, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk and Cova Sports TV. And if you got a question out there through the social channels on YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, X, you can send it our way here for Carter. We'll throw it his direction. But when we interviewed you, I think for the first time, you were like a freshman or sophomore. You were getting attention from colleges. Now it's blown up to 35-plus offers, as we mentioned. Give me these two answers if you can. What have you learned on this process from the start to now that you didn't know? And B, what are you looking for in a school? Has that at all changed from when you began this whole process as a ninth grader, now getting ready for your senior year when this one's done as a junior? Take me through how that's all kind of evolved for you from day one at Poquoson to this point.
That's a really good question. Some stuff that I've learned since I was a freshman, as you guys know, so much has changed just since I was a freshman, not just from what I'm learning, but it's also changed with rules and different spaces in college football. But I've really been learning how to look at schools and the ways to look at them and to see what you want, because you need to have like really a standard checklist of what you want. You don't want any school to really veer off it. And I'm really looking for like a really good culture, and I want to be playing with a really good group of guys, and I want the coach I'm going to go and play for, I want him to want to invest in me and put into me like some of the coaches that I've been blessed to work with throughout my high school career. I think a good culture and really good coaches, people that want to develop me and want to see me live out a career is what I'm looking for.
Terrific. One more before I throw it back to Ed, and he continues his Fighting Irish pitch with you, Carter. You are getting a lot of attention, both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line. You are so good at each side of the football. I'm guessing most of them like you on the offensive line. Have you heard more defense, and which do you enjoy more? Which is easier, more natural to you?
So I think my freshman and sophomore year, I think defensive line was definitely a lot more natural to me. And then this offseason, I really based my training and really locked in on offensive line, because that's what I want. That's what I want to play in college. That's really my true love, is offensive line. And I don't think there's a better feeling than getting pancakes. So I think for sure it's going to be offensive line, and I also think I could play defensive line if I really locked in on my technique. But offensive line is going to be where it's at for me.
Ed, you know a thing or two about pancakes. You eat them all the time, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm with you, Carter. I love the pancakes. Now, not the ones you do, because I can see you flattening some people. Is that your best, the mark of a wide receiver, catching a great pass over top of defender, quarterback throwing a 50-yard touchdown, running back making that crazy jigsaw run? What is it for the lineman? Is it the pancake, or you got something else?
I think a really good pancake when you really hit them right, I think that's something that's really special. But I also think other things that could be special is when you get a really successful pass block and you just get it just right, and or when you're at the tackle and you're pulling. Those are also some very fun moments for me.
What's harder, pass blocking or run blocking?
I think coming from a wing T high school, coming to go into these camps at Alabama and Tennessee, I think pass blocking's always been harder for me because we don't pass as much, and I'm really run dominant at these camps, and my run technique really shows the coaches what I can do there. And then I'm still doing very well at pass protection, and I've been working with a lot of different coaches, and I've worked with DJ Dinsmore at Indian River High School, and on my pass protection technique. And I do think pass protection has always been harder for me, and it's something I love to continue to learn.
Let's go way back to the young Carter. How did you? I always like to find out from the linemen. How did you get to the line? Number one, it's the hardest. I think the hardest position to play, the line in general. Probably the center. Probably the hardest. And I always find out sometimes the coaches you can't be anywhere else. How did it start for you? And when you were real younger, was it line you wanted, or did you want to be that wide receiver, that quarterback, that running back, that linebacker?
I really think when you're in those younger ages, I think you want to play wide receiver. You want to have some of that fame and the glory on Pee Wee football. But I started out playing tight end and defensive end, and then my freshman year worked my way to playing quick tackle after I gained a lot of weight going from 8th grade into freshman year. And since then I just started rolling, and we had a senior get injured in the second week against Grafton High School my freshman year. So I was starting both ways freshman year I was playing nose guard and quick tackle for us. So that really motivated me to gain a lot of weight and put on a lot of muscle for my sophomore season. That was the summer where I went out to some camps and got my first few offers.
Good deal.
Now, does coach have a package where you're in the backfield, either lead block from the backfield or get a handoff at the 1 inch line and bowl your way over? Do you have that in the package?
No, sir. We don't have one for me, but we have one for Braden Agnice. We call it BA Blast.
Oh, I love it. BA Blast.
Now,
yes, sir.
Okay. Carter, being the senior that you are,
no, he's a junior. He's a junior. Ed, he's a junior. Time out. He's a junior. He's a junior.
Oh, junior.
Yeah. We froze Ed. He's frozen in time, Carter. He was so shocked about you being a junior. He thought you was a senior, which is funny. Someone I was just talking to the other day said the same exact thing. They're like, this Carter Jones kid blowing up Poquoson. Where's he going? He's got another year. Are you kidding me? They thought you were a senior as well. Do you get that often from people, by the way?
I do. People really confuse me for a senior. I think a lot of people used to commit late into their senior year versus now in the new ages of recruiting, people are committing early in their junior year.
Good deal. I think Ed's frozen, so we'll try to get him back. If not, we'll finish up with you here. A couple more minutes. We thank you for the time here today. Carter Jones, the two-way standout lineman from Poquoson High School, our guest here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, and interact with us on the YouTube or any social channels that you're watching the show with us. Before we finish up with some rapid fire with you and let you roll here, I want to know, Carter, you get Strasburg now. I know you guys since last year, the pain. Take me through how you think you're a different team and will be prepared better for this matchup. I know you had to go on the road last year. It was a bus ride, and that can be a little difficult, can't it?
Yes, sir. We actually played Strasburg at home last year. Luckily we'll be playing them at home again this year. And I think that we're a team that's a lot more hungry than we were last year. We had a lot of injuries last year, but this year we're pretty healthy, and we had our middle linebacker out against Armstrong. However, I think he's going to be coming back for Strasburg, and we're a hungry team. We're a team full of dogs, full of energy, and we have no underclassmen starters, so it's all juniors and seniors out there.
You're right. I'm confusing 2 years ago, your freshman season, you guys lost at Riverheads on the road. That's what it was.
Yes,
right?
sir. We lost by a lot that game too.
Yeah, and Riverhead's a really good team. They've won a lot of championships in the Class 1 level. Tell me about what you like most about this Poquoson football team. And you can shout out some of your linemen that block with you. I mean, I know that's a brotherhood there at Poquoson.
Yes, sir.
I hear all the time about just the tradition Coach Duty has instilled with you all, and you got to feel like this is a dream come true. You beat Lafayette this year in an overtime classic, and here you
Yes,
are.
sir.
You recoup from the one loss you had. There was a close ball game during the regular season against War Hill, winnable game back on October 17th, 35-28. You got to feel like you're one of the last 4 teams standing. You got a chance at this thing.
Yes, sir. I really want to give a shout out to Coach Duty and Coach Hollingsworth. We call him Coach Biggie. And then I want to give a shout out to our D-line coach, Coach John Bell. They've all been a huge impact for me, with Coach Duty reaching out to coaches for me and bringing them into high school and getting them to talk to me. And also with Coach Hollingsworth, he's been studying offensive line, and he really puts in the effort for us. He grades us, and he watches the film and the other team. He tells us what we need to know. And Coach John Bell, he's always putting in the work, finding out new techniques every week for us and what we need to do, and he installs it really well.
Awesome. One of our viewers out there has a question for you. Ryan wants to know, who's your favorite NFL offensive lineman? You got one?
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. What do you like about Trent?
So if you watch Trent Williams, you can just see the nastiness he plays with, and that's something I really love to watch. But Trent Williams can do things that only Trent Williams can do, and he's a really impressive and fun offensive lineman to watch.
Cool. All right. Well, this has been a blast talking with you, Carter. Before we let you run here, you ready to play some rapid fire with us?
Yes, sir.
Here we go with the two-way standout lineman from Poquoson High School class of 2027, Carter Jones, Region 2A champs, now 2 wins away from a state championship. All right, what's your favorite TV show?
I'd probably say The Simpsons.
Oh, you're a Simpsons guy. That's my dad. He's got every episode on tape, and my dad will love hearing that. How about favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I'd probably say Cars 1. Been my favorite movie since I was a kid, so I have to go with Cars 1.
Cars 1. I can dig it. All right.
Yes, sir.
What is the chore you hate doing the most?
I don't like doing the dishes.
Oh, who likes doing that? I know. Place that you've never visited in the world you'd like to go see. What place would you go to?
I think Turks and Caicos.
All right. I asked this to Darnell Ewell, who used to play at Lake Taylor, who went to Notre Dame, ironically enough. Ed would love this. He had the handshake of death. What coach handshake has been the hardest handshake you've shaken the hand of?
Ooh. It has to be some of those strength and conditioning coaches. I don't remember which one, but okay. I know some of those strength and conditioning coaches, they really shake your hand. They shake your hand hard.
All right. Who is the biggest jokester on the Poquoson football team?
The biggest jokester.
Yeah.
We got a few. I'd probably I would say for the offensive line, it's probably Gavin Kaufman.
Gavin Kaufman. All right. Who is the fastest dude on the football team? Who wins a race?
It's probably between Aiden Stiver and Owen Cub.
All right. A couple more for you. Late night snack. What's your go-to?
Probably a protein shake and pretzels.
All right. What was your one Thanksgiving item you had to have? Be it side, be it dessert. What was your one go-to?
My go-to, I always love getting some mac and cheese on Thanksgiving.
All right. And lastly, if you could trade places with anybody in the world, who would you pick?
That's a hard question. I'd probably have to go with like Tom Brady or something like that.
Tom Brady. Hey, he's got money. He's got Super Bowl rings. He's living a good life. Well,
yes, sir.
Carter, I know you're enjoying yours too with Poquoson High School, national recruit, a region champion, and hoping to get a state championship before it's all said and done with your Bull Islander teammates. Thank you so much. Congrats on the region championship, and we appreciate the time today. You enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving weekend. We'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Thank you very much, Mr. Hatfield.
You got it. Carter Jones, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. We'll take a timeout and come back with more. You're watching 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll chat with you right after this.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Kova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit kovapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
All right, here the dynamic duo of the Oscar Smith Tigers, Lonnie Andrews III and Travis Johnson. Oscar Smith, region champs for the 13th time in 19 years, 48-6 over Thomas Dale. All right, you guys got to enjoy Thanksgiving. Now the journey for back-to-back. You're 2 wins away. Lonnie, you guys came out and played almost a perfect game. Did you expect to dominate this type of way by running clock against a good team?
Our coaching staff just preaches to us every week. If we execute the game plan that they put on the table for us, it's not going to be no problem to get a running clock like we did. So as long as we execute the game plan week in and week out, we're gonna get the job done.
Travis, you've had some big touchdowns in your time at Oscar Smith. The Kings Fort game, the Indian River game, 93 yards to the house. Yeah. That's your longest and best one? It's this last one here, right?
Yeah, it might be the longest one I ever got. Yes, sir.
What was special about that play? You threw it to, was basically a fade to the sideline. Take me through the play and what you saw.
Corner route. I knew my quarterback was going to give me a chance. I knew I had to go get up and finish the play. We always say finish the play, so I had to finish the score.
This guy next year's got one more year, but this is it for you on this field. You go on the road for the state semis, then you hope to play at JMU for the state championship. Is it kind of a bittersweet feeling? What's going through your mind? You're knowing this is the last time.
Crazy. Time flies, but I'm definitely proud of him, and we got 2 more to go.
We know it's a big game, by the way, Wolverines and Buckeyes. But, hey, you're 2 wins away from a championship, the back-to-back quests. How is this team different now, and do you feel like you're peaking at the right time, Lonnie?
I feel like we're peaking at the right time, like we're progressively getting better every week. We wish we would have got the donut, but, things happen. And I feel like we're just getting better every week. We come to practice, put in the work like we need to. So we're peaking at the right time, and I feel like by game 15, we're going to play an A-plus game.
Travis, what's kept you guys motivated? What's fueled you to keep on this journey to stay, on the quest for a back-to-back?
I feel like people keep disrespecting us. Somebody on their team was like, we can't get 45. We came out, got 48. We could have got more. So people keep disrespecting us, and they're going to see it every Friday or Saturday night or morning, whatever it is.
Is that something to do, Lonnie, that last year you guys, you won it, but this year you want to do it in a more dominant fashion to kind of keep the legacy growing here? Is that something that you guys
we just feel like as a team, like we don't get enough respect. Teams always talking about how, like, either we're not going to do this, do that, and then we come out here and just show them, and then the team that we got that next week just says something else again. So we just got to keep coming out here and showing them what we could do each and every week.
Well, the scoreboard speaks for itself. We'll get you on a fun one. It's Thanksgiving. What's your dessert aside you're crushing this weekend while you watch the football? Give it to me. What's your dessert aside you're crushing?
Banana pudding for sure.
Banana pudding, What about for you?
Banana pudding.
Yeah. The pudding boys. Andrews, Johnson, Tigers win again. Thanks so much, guys.
That was Lonnie Andrews III and Travis Johnson. Travis Johnson with us here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Back here on the program with the coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield, and we thank Carter Jones for coming on as well with us after Poquoson's Region 2A championship. We do have the highlight, that 93-yard touchdown pass from the NFHS Network. I'm going to show it to you real quick before I get your take on the play as well, which Ed can't probably see it depending on how his camera's going. But what Lonnie and Travis told us, and Carter Jones, his conversation with us in a moment, as it's queuing up here in our system. But Oscar Smith is getting ready to take on either Madison or Westfield in next week's Class 6 state semifinals. Here it is, the clip, that electric TD for the Tigers. 93 yards. I don't know if you caught that or not, Ed, but the Pixelot NFHS camera, he was too fast for it. Once he made the leaping grab along the sideline, he was gone, and the camera didn't catch up with him. He was gone on that score as Oscar Smith just had its way with Dill. We'll hear from the coaches, too. Brandon Carr of Indian River and Chris Scott of Oscar Smith coming up in a bit, too.
Now, unfortunately, with using my phone instead of my computer, I can't really see any of I see bits and pieces and it freezes, so it doesn't do any justice. I definitely would want to see that replay, though.
Okay. And Carter, what an awesome young man he was to speak with at Poquoson. You can tell he's got a great head on his shoulders, and he's a guy that's got a bright future ahead. We talked about Saturdays, Sundays, you never know, but he's going to do some great things in life, even I think beyond football. He's got it together. He does.
Crazy is a lot of the big time schools have stayed on him. I mean, he started reading the schools. I said, what is he doing? Reading the top 25 list for the week?
That's what he's got. Yeah.
That's and he's only a junior. I thought he was a senior.
All A's. Gets it done in the classroom too.
Now, my last question before I went in a bad area.
Yeah.
When I asked him, did he play who? He's not on the basketball team, is he?
No. And you're not going to get him to transfer to Smithfield. So good luck with that. Ain't happening.
No,
and you can make your pitches about Smithfield and Notre Dame all you want, but he's not going anywhere.
Hey, I just don't want to go get 6'6", 290 on the basketball court.
But it was so funny that right when you froze, it was so ironic that the time you froze was thinking he was a senior, because I literally had someone just the other day that thought he was a senior. And I said, no, I had to correct him. He's a junior. He not only looks it, but he acts it. He's mature for his age. Another year for him in high school football. So
that's amazing, because he handled his interview well-spoken, very humble.
Yeah.
And he talked about his humble beginnings as what he wanted to do in football. That kid's gonna play on Sundays. He's gonna play on Sundays.
You could tell the family's done an awesome job with him, and the coaches at Poquoson are doing great work with him too. So they got a big game coming up. That whole group, it's a well-knit team with he mentioned Gavin Kaufman and Braden Agnes, the blast play he talked about, Cody Little, Dom Galakak, Austin Conley, Keegan Webb, the quarterback, has made strides throughout the year. That's the one thing Poquoson is not known for, throwing the football, but they have the ability to complete passes when the defense stacks the box too much. So them and Strasburg should be a fun rematch. We can go through the rest of the brackets if you like. We also have to play before high noon. We have our NFL picks 2 coming, but buy or sell. We have 5 college football related buy or sell questions. You want to knock that out of the way now or go back to the scores? It's up to you.
I like buy and sell. Come on.
Let's do it. He says buy or sell. So we'll go back to the high school football scores. We're going to leave you out 3A and 1A. We'll give Lake Taylor and Jefferson Forest some teams their love and their shine here in just a bit. And by the way, that's the game I'm going to be at next week, folks. I'm going to be in Norfolk for Magna Vista Lake Taylor. I'm looking forward to it. Hank Sawyer's Titans and Joe Favero's Warriors. But it is now time for buy or sell. All right, first one, Ed, we go to the Big Ten. The Oregon Ducks, whose women's team unfortunately handled our Old Dominion women's team on Thanksgiving Day in hoops. The football team has a tight end by the name of Kenyon Sadiq. He leads all FBS tight ends in the country with 8 touchdown grabs. Sadiq's going to catch at least one against their rival, the Washington Huskies, today. You buying that or you selling it?
Buying.
You're buying it. Sadiq finds the end zone.
No question. Might find it twice.
You know what would be awesome if he scored a touchdown and he went and did like a duck quack. Quack, 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 quack. Wouldn't that be great?
Walk like a duck. Let's see him
walk like a duck. Yeah, it'd be great. I'm with you. I'm buying it too. Second one, Virginia. The Cavaliers have lost 23 of the past 25 meetings with the Hokies of Virginia Tech. But today is the day where UVA punches its ticket to the ACC championship game, and they not only win, but they do so convincingly over the Hokies of Virginia Tech, the rival. Are you buying this or are you selling it?
I'm buying it they win, but I don't know if they'll cover. I think Virginia Tech this is Virginia Tech's bowl game.
It is.
They may be up for this because it'll mess up Virginia's chance to win the ACC and all that. I'm going to say Virginia wins, but it's going to be closer than the 8.5.
And by the way, the line's going on to 7.5. So you're selling it.
Yeah, if I have to do both, I'm going to have to sell it. I think they win, but I don't think they cover.
Well, Virginia has been notorious for close wins all year. They lost to NC State by 4, but they beat Florida State in double overtime by 8, Louisville by 3 in OT, Washington State by 2, UNC by 1 in OT in Chapel Hill. We thought it was a tight game against Chapel Bill. Belichick, that is. Then they beat Cal by 10 before losing to Wake by 7 and doubled up Duke 34-17. I'm going to buy it. I don't think Virginia Tech is going to sustain offense. I think they'll have a good first half, but I think in the second half, UVA will get its mojo. I think they'll create a couple of takeaways and pull away and win it something like 28-17, which gives me a close cover. Take the Cavaliers, the Wahoos, to go to the ACC championship. It'll make all those UVA diehards out there, including our man Jack Lowe, happy. Buy or sell, Oklahoma entering its matchup with LSU having registered 41 sacks, 7 short of their single-season record, which is 48. The Sooners will get halfway there with at least 4 sacks of the Tigers of LSU. He's thinking. This is where you should ask a question.
I'm gonna buy it. I think they can get 4.
Okay. Well, I'm surprised you didn't ask me. Well, Matt, how many sacks has LSU allowed this year?
How many sacks has LSU allowed this year?
Good question, sir. They are currently ranked number 94 out of 136 FBS schools with 25 sacks surrendered.
And they played, 11 games?
They have played a total of 11 games, yes. So that's an average of just over 2 a game.
So Oklahoma's going to have to really rally to get to the 4. I'm going to still buy it. I think they get that 4th one late in the 4th quarter.
I'm going to sell it just to be different from you, and because anything you're buying these days is going rotten. It's going rotten. So you're buying it, I'm selling it. And speaking of that, it's like your picks that have gone rotten. I think they'll get 3. They'll probably get 3 in the first half, and they have no more sacks from there. Although they will probably be dropping back to throw a lot, trailing Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's defense, I think, is one of the better defenses in the country. Let's stay in the SEC here for Tennessee and Vanderbilt. We talked about this one the other day on Cova Sports TV. The 2 quarterbacks, Nico's at UCLA now. Goodness. Mr. Joey Aguilar for the Vols and Diego Pavia for Vandy. Tennessee's put up 40-plus points in 7 games on the year while Vandy's trying to win 10 games for the first time ever. Does the winning team score 40 today? Do you know what the over-under is for this game?
What's over-under for this game?
It is a high total. It is currently set at 66.5. So the odds makers are basically telling you the winning team is going to score probably about 35-plus, maybe 40-plus. Are you buying or selling this?
Can I ask another question?
It's your final question. You have one more phone a friend left. You can't pull the audience or do 50-50. We're not playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, although we'd all love to be one.
What is Vanderbilt averaging during the year?
In terms of scoring?
Yes.
That's a great question by you. Let's go to the national leaders in points per game, and we will see right now in 2025, as far as the scoring goes. Whoops, just had it and I lost it. There we go. So Tennessee's at 42.3 points per game, and the Commodores, trying to win like the Maury Commodores, are at 38.9. Tennessee is 4th in scoring offense behind only North Texas, Indiana, and Texas Tech, while Vandy is currently 9th just ahead of Ohio State, the Ohio State by a point, and right behind those Oregon quack Ducks we talked about a little while ago.
Yes, I'm buying it.
You're buying it.
Winning team gets 40 points today, and I'm going to lean towards Tennessee.
I actually agree with you on both of those. I think this is a 42 to 35, 44, 38 type of game, and I think the Vols have the edge in Knoxville to try to ruin Vandy's playoff hopes. Tennessee looked great last week against Florida, but what happens if Vanderbilt wins and Alabama loses to Auburn? The SEC chaos could be juggled into the air. And our last one is that big game between the Buckeyes and the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. Ohio State's dropped 4 in a row, but they've won 10 games overall by at least 15 points. Do they make it at least 11 consecutive wins by 15 plus against Michigan? The Wolverines, who have controlled the running game in this series lately, they're a 9.5-point home dog against the Buckeyes with the great Jeremiah Smith, maybe the best receiver in the sport, Jeremiah Smith, and the best safety in the sport, in Caleb Downs.
Yeah, this one is going to be I feel Ohio State's going to win. And I think I told you last week I got a little crazy and said 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I can see 2. Now, the question is they going to win by 15 or more?
I think they're going to roll. I'm going to call it for you. Ready? You ready for the score? Put this down in the hopper. You ready? 34-16. And Michigan gets the 16 by getting a touchdown at 2-pointer late. This is going to be all Buckeyes. Blowout in the big house.
I still believe so. I said 21 last week. I kind of want to back down to get to about a 14, 15-point. I think Michigan, on paper, man for man, Ohio State's just better. It's just better. And these people keep saying, well, Rod O'Day will make a mistake because he always does against Michigan. No, I don't think he'll make the mistake, and I don't think Michigan's quite good enough to take down Ohio State in this. So I'm going to buy it. I think Ohio State wins by 15 or more.
All right, that wraps up our latest installment of Buy or Sell College Football Style. But before we go to break, I know you want to hear what the big whistle from the Oscar Smith Tigers had to say to me after his team's dominant performance over the Thomasdale Knights. We had on Coach Kevin Tucker, his old college roommate from back in the day, Hampton Sydney days, on the show last week. And we will blame Ed for being a jinx, even though he didn't talk to Coach Tucker like I did. But we caught up with the guy that leads the defending Class 6 champs as they move a step closer to a repeat, Ed.
All right, let's see what he had to say here. You spoke to him already on Cova Sports TV.
Here with Oscar Smith head football coach Chris Scott. It's cold as the calendar gets ready to turn from November to December on Thanksgiving weekend, and his team wins at 48-6 over the Thomasdale Knights. 11-1 coach, 13th regional title in 19 years for Oscar Smith football. You've been a part of a lot of these. You played against Oscar Smith for some of these 66 playoff wins as a program. You played about as complete a game as you could tonight. I think the thing you're most happy about is no penalties for the entire first half, just one for the whole game.
Yeah, I love it. I tell our guys, why can't we be one of the most talented teams, but also the most disciplined? And that's something that I think the coaches have bought into. These young players have bought into. And I say young because all these guys were here last year, right? And then with those guys believing and wanting to get a little bit better, and they really came in to make a statement here in the playoffs, and the defense has gotten off to a great start, and so has the offense. So it's pretty complete when we're getting kickoff returns, offense and defense, but it's coming together. These guys are playing really well.
Yeah, so many guys stepping up for you, whether it is Quali Price running a punt back, whether it's the running game with Breon Gibson and Reginald Wallace, the offensive line, your defense flying around. Xavier Clarkson, another new name we found out tonight, flying out there at safety for you. You just have so many different pieces. The depth is showing, isn't it?
The depth is showing, and that's something that Coach Simmons, Coach Quan, our guys have really prided themselves on rotating people in, getting the best out of all of our players, and then the guys buying into that. You know, that takes an unselfish team and an unselfish mindset. And whether it's we're getting back there, and why would you put in an offense where the best quarterback in the state's not taking the direct snap. Well, for some reason, we can sometimes outsmart ourselves, but it's pretty smart when we get back there and have some of the big boy packages, and then obviously multi-sets with the wide receivers. Coach Singh is doing a great job, but the guys are buying in and they're executing really well.
And you had the leadership with your quarterback in Lonnie Andrews III, the junior UVA commit, and the 4-star in Travis Johnson on offense going to Michigan. 93-yard touchdown pass before the half, Coach. My goodness, they've had some memorable plays, but for Travis, I think it's starting to hit him. It's this final game on this surface. He's got 2 more games coming up in the state before he goes off to college, but those 2 guys can do special things, can't they?
They can do a lot of special things, and getting us started right there, I say started, but ended right before the half. It's huge. What a great catch. Looks like he's going to go down. I mean, the ball's a little tight, a little heavy with it being so cold. And it's like, is he going to? He pulls it in and then goes ahead and outruns, the defense into the end zone. So they can do a lot of special things. We're looking for them to do a lot of special things here for the next two weeks.
I know we spoke last year, the last couple of times as you've had 3 state championship runs here at Oscar Smith, about peaking at the right time of the year. Your defense, my gracious, whether it's Narad, Flip Jarvis, the Buffalo commit, Malachi White, the all-state linebacker, you have so many different pieces at every level flowing to the football. You made Dale uncomfortable, it felt like, if they had that big kickoff return. Never felt like they would score until they got to scoop and score in the final play of the game.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun being able to turn around and you look at, I'm used to calling number 22 to get in there and make a tackle, but 22 now, Giovanni Simmons, who coaches him up pretty well. It's like, all right, the kicker Cal made a great tackle, and now it's 1st and goal from the 9, and just like you said, right there. And it's like, okay, the defense gets out there, and they just got to push them back, and then we turn around and have a great 90-yard drive. I mean, that's the way you draw it up. You don't want to give up that much yardage, but the answer is great, and how those guys are flying around, and like you said, peaking at the right time.
But 2 more to that. Speak to that, because I think people wonder, to try to get into the mad scientist's head, which is yours, about onside kicks and that things, but you want to put your team in situations to prepare them for the worst, right? And put them in situations they're not always ready for, if you will?
Certainly. We talk about it. Coach Simmons has done a great job with getting us in some special team situations and competitions throughout the week. But we talk about those being comfortable and uncomfortable moments, and that's one right there where it's like, hey, we got the momentum. That's not what you want to happen, but then where is your maturity? Where is the leadership? And those guys buy in and they understand the mission, and that's because the coaches are relaying it, and the players are doing a great job executing.
Lastly, I mentioned it is cold now. We're going into December. You got 2 games. It'll be on the road against either Westfield or Madison. It looks like for the state playoffs, some history with both of those programs Oscar Smith has. And then you hope to get to James Madison for the final. What do you tell your team here as you're going into December, and this is a place you all prepared for back in August?
Well, it's great. Like you said, the tradition here, the tradition of the coaching staff, guys that are acclimated to this time of the year. And as Coach Simmons and I always say, they always remember what you do in December. So we got to bring our A game.
Go enjoy some pie and dessert for Thanksgiving weekend. We'll see you in December.
Yes, sir.
That was Chris Scott of the Oscar Smith Tigers, victorious over the Thomas Dale Knights 48-7. Your reaction, Ed, as Smith, here's one I can throw your way. Are they the best team on the board regardless of classification, 6-1? They sure looked like it on Friday night, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll lean towards that, but boy, Maury keeps getting a lot of my attention. They can score almost at will too, just like Oscar Smith. And I think we know Oscar Smith a little bit more for their defense than I think we give Maury credit for their defense, because we always talk about Maury's offense because they put so many points on the board, and they've got just a ton of good hands people out there. But across the board, I think I would probably lean towards Oscar Smith right now.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a great question we can pose to our audience out there. Who would you say it is? Is it Maury? Is it Oscar Smith? Is it somebody else? And I know people are already clamoring for St. James to be scrimmaging Oscar Smith next summer or next season, all kinds of things. People are clamoring for different. They want these matchups. People want to see a Smith-Maury matchup in the future. We'll see if that ever does come to fruition. But we'll take a timeout. We've got more coming your way here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll go through some of the matchups that are forthcoming and hear from Brandon Carr of the Braves. It's all on the way right here on 757 Sports Talk. Now this from those that help make it possible, including our friends at Town Bank.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams Lloyd's, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
Here with Indian River head football coach Brandon Carr. His Braves win the Region 5A championship 20-14. Second time in 3 years they beat the Stallions on the road, and you're moving on to the state playoffs. Congratulations, coach. This was a battle. You got up 7-0 at halftime. They caught you. You went up 14-7. They caught you. You take the lead, missed the extra point. They were trying to catch you, but it's your unsung senior lineman hero, Corey Sanderlin, with the recovery. How's it feel to be going back to the state playoffs for the second time in 3 years?
It's a great feeling. Just missing it last year. Sour taste in our mouth. We hung on to it all off season, and we reminded ourselves daily, weekly about it, so that when we got back on this stage, we seized the opportunity, and today we did.
How happy are you for Corey? He's the guy that recovers the fumble. They're starting to drive. You had the missed extra point, and I know he's such an underappreciated guy for you for the last couple of years.
Corey is not just an unsung guy for us. He's in this area.
Yeah.
His recruitment. His kid's just
that I'm not sure.
He's an old school lineman, both ways, O-line, D-line, great kid. Just plays tough, nasty guy. You love it. And he really is the backbone of this team. And people don't really understand that. They really don't give the bigs that much attention. Everybody sees the QBs and the receivers. But you miss out on the guys in the trenches who are really working.
And if you did make a mistake today, your guys responded from it. And your quarterback, we'll get to him, Lord Malik Carew, has 2 first-half interceptions, 3 touchdowns in the second half. You field a kickoff inside your own 5, but it's that guy, Donovan Brown, catching the winning touchdown pass for you. Jason Preston drawing some pass interferences, playing on defense. You had a number of guys that rose to the occasion. How much of that was just the wars you had all year in the Southeastern District prepared you for this moment and today?
Oh, 100%. We talk about it all the time. We play in the Southeastern District. A battle-tested conference that you got to battle week to week. But a testament goes out to our coaches who challenge these young men, and they prepare them all the time for these type of situations. So when we got backed up down there, no one flinched. It is get back to what we got to do to get out of there, and that's what you saw.
Coach Darnell Moore and me on the Cova Sports TV during the broadcast talked about just the changes of you and your D coordinator, Anthony Smith, with your fronts defensively. It was 3 men, 4 men, 5 men. How much of that was just changing your front, your coverages to keep Green Run's high-flying offense off balance and guessing on their toes, if you will? Was that part of the strategy coming in?
Oh, hats off to our defensive coordinator, Anthony Smith. He does a good job mixing in a lot of things, keeping a lot of people on their toes and their feet. So, his game plan was great. Kids executed, and we came out with the win today.
Was it big matter to just not let Charles Jackson run wild, because he's been running wild over Beach District defenses all year long, but your defense said not on our watch, not today?
Oh, yeah, we definitely knew number 1 and number 4, we knew that we had to contain those guys, couldn't let them get loose. If they got loose, we were going to have a long afternoon.
2 more. 97-yard drive engineered by your freshman phenom, Lord Malik Carew. But to me, the play that sticks out, Coach, it's 3rd down, you're inside your own 10, 3rd and 8, and he scrambles for about 29 yards. How about that play and just his poise not to get rattled? The crowd's going nuts. It's tied up. Green Run thinks they're going to get the ball back and win it, and Lord Malik Carew said, I'm going to come through.
Yeah, I think some very simple words, take what they give you. take what they give you, and that's what he does a great job with, just taking what the defense gives him. He sees a lane to put his head down, he's going to go get it, but just simple word, take what they give you, and that's what he did to get us out of that hole.
Sure. Lastly, appreciate your time. You're going on to the state playoffs. Looks like you're going to play Highland Springs coming up in the state semis. I know about 10 years ago, Coach Farabee led the Braves to a game there and lost it. But what's it mean to play that storied program and have a chance to be in position to go to the state championship in December?
It's exciting. That is a very, very great program, a championship program. So it'll speak volumes to where we're going and where we're headed as a program to get up there and do what we're supposed to do.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much. Go enjoy it. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Oh, you heard from Brandon Carr of the Indian River Braves, victorious in the Region 5A Championship 20-14 at Green Run. It is 757 Sports Talk and Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. We go through more of the brackets here from Friday's action. As you see, Indian River will visit Highland Springs. They lost, as we touched on, 10 years ago, 35-10 at the Victor Kreider Stadium in Richmond. Certainly the Springers will be labeled as the favorite going in. You would think the home field and the pedigree and the championships that Lauren Johnson has won, I believe 5 or 6 of them. And Indian River has not won one since the 1990s, going back in that time frame when James Boyd and them were there. But big test in front of them. They'll get ready to see the Springers with that freshman who's been dazzling, and Lord Malik Carew leading the way. Let's go to Class 4. We've not talked a whole lot about them this morning on the show, and that features the Lafayette Rams able to prevail over the Phoebus Phantoms 23-17. What a ball game this was. Phoebus had the lead early. They had the lead late, but when it was all said and done, Lafayette able to win it. Jael Love with a big play. Nyron Hudson and Hayden Oleski with a couple of interceptions, key ones in the fourth quarter to allow Lafayette to beat Phoebus in the waning moments of that ball game. 23-17, Andy Lynn's team, the last team to beat Phoebus in the playoffs during the COVID-shortened season. Phoebus had won 21 straight in the playoffs, coming off that monster game from Tyree Diggs running the football against the Crabbers, but they ended up getting a big punt return, those couple of picks to get it done. And the Phoebus running game, just 28 yards against the Lafayette defense, which we've talked about. Didn't think that they would be able to run as easily on Lafayette as they did on Hampton. And the reason being, Lafayette's defense all year hasn't given up until this game more than 14 points. 14 was the max in the season opener at Smithfield. Everybody else has been 10 or less. Even the game they lost to Poquoson at the end of September in overtime, 10-7. But that Lafayette defense really routed the ball well. They got those key takeaways. Jael Love had the big touchdown catch from Ball Mahonk, the quarterback. So they went to the air when they had to. It wasn't just all ground and pound, running it with Tyree Wilson and Breon Stokes and Josh Simpson, a couple of 1,000-yard rushers there with Stokes and Simpson. But Lafayette will move on to the state Final Four, a place they have been on multiple occasions under Andy Lynn, their last championship coming in the COVID-shortened spring 2021 campaign. Today you got Region 4B. It's a great final. It is Varina visiting Huguenot, 1:30 kickoff in a game that we've all got Varina winning on our picks with Coach Young and yours truly and the Massey ratings. They have it more lopsided than me, although I've got it 28-14 Varina. Ivion Lewis, one of the best receivers around. Charles Scott Jr. with 40 touchdown passes, 8 touchdown runs. I think people wrote Huguenot off when they lost that first game to St. Christopher's, a private school, to open the year. But here they are back in position to make some history. 11 straight wins. They beat Louisa on the road, like Varina beat Dinwiddie on the road as they bring back in Coach Young here. Varina, Huguenot, this is a great region championship. And the winner of this, Ed, as you'll see coming up with Class 4, they get to host the state semifinals against the lowest remaining seed, which is going to be Jefferson Forest. But this is a state championship caliber game in the region final, no doubt about it, with Varina and Huguenot. So much talent on the field with Markel Dabney, a Michigan commit at linebacker for Huguenot, and Damari Carter, receiver defensive back. defensive lineman Jay-Sean Bull Richardson, both going to UVA for Varina, among others here that are going to college programs. And there's some good juniors and sophomores on the field as well.
You know, I don't discredit Huguenot. I mean, they've earned their way here. Big season for them. They can put points on the board real quick. I just look at Varina as this is their time to shine. This is they're made, they're built, as they say, for playoff time. And I'll be honest, I see a 15-point win for Varina.
No, I know you do, but I will caution you with this. And I do think Varina is going to have their way for the most part. The one thing I would caution you with here on this particular game is this. Last week, Huguenot went to the jungle against Louisa, and that 5-star going to Michigan, Savion Hyder, who's one of the best backs anywhere, was pretty much shut down. Just 71 yards on 22 carries. That's just barely over 3 yards a carry. Varina doesn't live on the run exclusively, but if Huguenot's offense is able to put up big numbers on Varina's defense, which just shut out Dinwiddie, if they score like 21 and they've lost the last 2 years in the playoffs to Varina, they got to feel like they got a real puncher's chance in this thing. I will say that.
Yeah, I don't want to I really don't want to come across as discrediting how good Huguenot is. You get to this point of the season, I don't care if it's, unless you're missing some play, you've done something to get here. So I think anybody really has the chance to win. But you notice in some of these scores, 35-0, 42-7. And then you say, wait a minute, how could somebody win that big in the playoffs? Well, it's all about the matchups, how they match up against that particular team. Maybe the type of teams they played in their area wasn't quite as good as what they're playing now. I just think Varina, come playoff time, is there, unless somebody's really hitting it on all cylinders, and Huguenot can be, it's Varina's thing. When you got a kid going to Michigan, then that means something about a leader on your ball club. I think Varina wins it, but I don't think Huguenot gives a bad display of themselves.
It's the county, it's the valley, their first ever playoff encounter between these two rivals that have met on the gridiron a total of 65 times. First ever playoff meeting. I know it's wild to think. Montez Dyson, Ethan LaFollette, a couple of really good running backs. Now, you and I both have the county winning it, of the captains of Loudoun County. The Massey ratings have the Valley, the Loudoun Valley Vikings, winning it 28-21. We'll see what the computer has here. They won this game 31-7 during the season, did Loudoun County, but they had a much closer affair in the region semis. The winner of this game is going to get Lafayette. That's why this game has some impact. Now, we'll go to the bracket down here and show you. If Loudoun County wins, it means Lafayette has to go there. If Loudoun Valley wins, it means the Rams get to host them in Williamsburg. So translation, I think Andy Lynn and company, they don't care who they're playing. They're happy they're still playing. But if there is a slight preference, it might be the Valley because they stay at home.
Yeah, that would probably be my reason for picking them. And they did have a dominant win early. And then, when these two get together, it's that throw the records out the window, County versus the Valley, who's hot that particular day. But I'm going to still lean towards Valley.
Okay. A score to pass along for you. I didn't put it in the bracket, unfortunately. I apologize. I didn't have it in there. But Region 4D, Ed. GW Danville, who you picked to beat Jefferson Forest 20-16, while the Massey ratings and I took the Cavaliers. Jefferson Forest 49, GW Danville 7. What do you have to say for yourself besides A, I was wrong, and B, I'm blaming Kenny Harris?
Well, blaming Harris is easy because he usually messes things up. I thought I picked JF, but apparently either that or I wrote it in pencil and you erased it and kept it there.
No, you didn't. You took GW because they had home field. You got enamored with the offense, and they didn't have the offense against that Seminole District hard-nosed defense.
And I don't listen because you told me earlier in the year, better watch Jefferson Forest. Watch out for Jefferson Forest.
I did.
And I didn't listen to you. So I'll eat the crow on this one. I did pick GW Danville. No, I could see Forest winning because I was hesitant. But the blowout as it is, no, I didn't see that coming.
Listen, I mean, it was a very bad blunder use. And by the way, we say Kenny Harris, for those who don't know what we're talking about. Kenny Harris is the basketball coach at Green Run High School, who had a rough day on Friday because not only did his alma mater lose, that he helped win a state basketball championship, but his football school that he now coaches hoops at, Green Run, also took an L. So it was not a fun day in the Harris household from that perspective on that front. And he is an avid viewer, participant on this program, as folks may or may not know. But I also, to show you real quickly, they do have a nice field, a really nice field at George Washington High School in Danville, Virginia. And I'm going to show it to you now if you can see it on your screen. If you see the brackets on our screen, you should be able to see this here as it loads up here. Look at that, Edward. Look at the nice blue lines. Your AD tells me getting blue lines next year, baby, at the Packer Slaughterhouse out there in Smithfield. How about that? You like that? Look at that. Nice.
You know, that's not bad, but at Smithfield High School, our gym inside the three-point line is blue. We have the blue court.
Yeah.
I know coaches talked about trying to switch that color to more of a royal blue type color, so we can. You got these football fields that are red. There's one I just saw this week, Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan looked like they have a big silver gray type field. And I almost started messing with a color on the TV. Like, is my color messed up? No, that's the color of the field. You're not watching black and white. So G-Dub, I like that. It gives me a basketball court vibe with the big GW there.
Basketball court vibe. Yeah. Class 3 Region A, Lake Taylor's Titans, they are marching on. Hank Sawyer with his 7th regional championship. They beat Petersburg, no problem, 40-26. They put up 40 points on all three of these teams they saw in the regional finals. You said that was going to happen, and you were right. They beat Colonial Heights Norcom and then the Crimson Wave, who can now get ready for basketball season because it is their time now, as somebody likes to say for them. 384 yards of rushing for Lake Taylor in this one. Run the football, you stop the run, you're going to win. Over 4,000 yards rushing on the season. They got the backs with Keon Johnson, Jeremiah Farabee, and that twin veer attack. It goes back to the late days of Billy Morrow and coaches before Hank even arrived there at Lake Taylor. And they had over 9 yards attempt, and their quarterback can run it too, and Kevin Adams. That helps.
Yeah, I'm really kind of feeling good for Coach Sawyer because they took it on the chins last year. And like I said, I named them as my most improved team this year. And I think they're hitting all strides and very, very much serious 3A potential state champion.
Madrigal Clark with a touchdown catch. Also, Dominic Clanton, the big 6'5", 220-pound tight end with the good hands, catches a 2-point pass and has a big reception in that game as well. So Lake Taylor, the one thing Coach Sawyer does know is they have to get better on defense because of what's looming, as we'll show you that in a second here. But in 3B, 3C, Kettle Run goes all over Skyline 35-14. Their offense has been consistent, scoring no less than 35 in all their playoff wins, breezing by the Tigers in Warren County and Skyline. And in Region 3C, it went to overtime. Heritage Lynchburg and Liberty Christian. This time the outcome was different, Ed, as LCA, the two-time defending state champs coached by Frank Rocco, got the better of the Pioneers. Touchdown from Jaden Cowart. In OT, Heritage went backwards, not forwards, and they lost this game after winning it on a Halloween night 35-33. The LCA defense in this playoff bracket held their three foes to a combined 22 points, and all three of those teams entered with just one loss when they played LCA. Broadway got their second loss. Wilson Memorial got their second loss. Heritage of Lynchburg got their second loss. Also, their seasons come to a close.
Not surprised. I can't believe I didn't go.
Whoa. Time out. Don't say not surprised. You picked Heritage, so you should be surprised.
No. I picked Heritage. Yes, I did. Drank the Kool-Aid. But LCA, close losses during the season. I don't know. I'm mad about this pick. I really wanted to do LCA, and I didn't. I like what I filmed about Heritage. I love the coach. Guy is just rambunctious as can be. And I just kind of went with the flavor that they got that last win, and they're doing all right in the playoff. But I knew I should have picked LCA. That's the type of team that somehow it seems like when they lose to somebody, when they play them again, they make sure they take care of their business, and they did here. But again, I admit it. That's one I messed up.
You messed up. Magna Vista beat Lord Botetourt. 65 points for them after scoring 64 last week, 56 the week before. They have a record-setting quarterback, Eden Simeon Moore, a record-setting running back in Ethan Dukes, and a record-setting receiver in Asante Scott. Translation, you better have the defense ready if you want to stop these guys. That's the task now for Lake Taylor. The good thing for the Titans is it's going to be in Norfolk, not Ridgeway. You'll be at home. A chance to go back to the state finals for the 7th time under Coach Sawyer's watch. He's trying to get that 4th ring to match his wife Sandra, the girls basketball coach, with championships, almost completing her whole firsthand. Magna Vista, though, this offense, this has the makings to be a shootout in the 40s, high-scoring football. The running game can shoot a clock and wear them down and keep the offense from having to watch it. But that, to me, I told you, Riverbend Stonebridge, best game on the board. I think this is the best state semifinal on the board, Lake Taylor, Magna Vista. And I'll go a step further. This is no knock to the defending 2-time state champs in LCA. No knock to Kettle Run. Heritage is out, our number 1 team all year. I would not be shocked if the winner of Lake Taylor Magna Vista won the whole thing. Would not be.
I'm going to concur with you on that too. But I'm looking hard at LCA.
Okay. 2-time defending champs. They got the pedigree. They got the defense. You think they can slow down both Kettle Run and whichever offense comes out of that Lake Taylor Magna Vista? Because you're looking at 2 offenses that put up routinely 40 plus, and in Magna Vista's case, lately 50 and 60 plus.
Yes. Short answer, yes. LCA, I could see them. I could see them doing things defensively.
All right, he says defense wins championships. We are going to find out, aren't we, sir? We're going to find out. We're going to find out what the defense is made of. Big props to Frank Rocco on that defense. They stepped up to hold Heritage down to 1 score. That's doing something right. That's tackling. That's knowing your assignments, playing good disciplined football. Poquoson beat Armstrong 19-14. You heard from Carter Jones. They got it done. Great job with Cody Little and company. Offense made the key plays, and the defense bottled up an Armstrong attack that was humming all year long to the point of they were averaging coming in with the Wildcats over 42 points per game, and Poquoson found a way. Physical, bend but don't break defense. It was good. Strasburg over Stewart's Draft, 54-7. That was not even close. The Rams will be going to Poquoson for the 2nd straight year. Can they win the 2nd straight year at Poquoson's place? That remains to be seen. Glenver with the all-time touchdown pass record holder and Birdie Doyot going to Charlotte. They breezed by Gretna 41-6. They're still unbeaten. And Union playing Ridgeview today at 2 o'clock. As now it is out there what we were hearing about the coach who has got now national news, Travis Turner, the terrible situation there with the charges that I'm not even going to go so in-depth on now because it's been talked about ad nauseum from national outlets, but how these kids at Union keep it together. You actually picked Ridgeview in this game. You think Ridgeview gets the revenge. Now, if you followed the script from Friday's games, a lot of reverse outcomes. You had LCA get revenge. You'll see coming up in Class 1, Buffalo Gap got revenge, as did Rye Cove. So it's quite possible. But Union, a lot on their plate right now, those kids and coaches in that community, a lot on their plates.
See, I don't want to get into too much of a Union situation. It's made for TV drama. Like, wow, is this all true? And
like a 30 for 30, right? It's like an ESPN 30 for 30.
Yes. How it can have no effect on those players whatsoever kind of boggles my mind. I give credit to the rest of the staff for holding everything together and keeping those kids focused on winning, which is what they did. But at some point, I got to think, and I guess I'm taking this as the point because Ridgeview is going to fight them hard. And if they can sense a weakness about them or Union is not quite sharp off the ball, make a mistake, one mistake can hurt them possibly for that whole game. That's how I'm looking at this. Now, somebody on the opposite side would say, no, this has really brought that team together and
galvanized and unified them, yeah.
Forget all the noise, whatever's happened out there. We have no control over that. We have control over what we do on this field, and what we're going to do is go get that state title. One game. I can almost hear what they're saying, but what with national news and people all around that team, they've got to be at those games. They're trying to find out what's going on. How they're not distracted is amazing. Like I say, give credit to that coaching staff.
Yeah, Coach Turner's been absent for more than a week. He supposedly left the residence with a firearm, child porn charges. It's just They've scrubbed his staff profile. I mean, it's now. I'll give you one. This is crazy. You're not going to believe. Inside Edition actually reached out to me for an interview. I didn't get to connect with them, but it's wild what's taking place with that whole situation. And by the way, if Union is to win, they shut out the G-men of Graham last week, which you didn't think would happen. Keith Chandler's been running the ball well for them all year long, and it takes the spotlight off us talking about their great kids they've got, the Braxton Bunches, the Camden Whartons, the Cam Bostics, the Keith Chandlers, those that are putting in the blood, sweat, and tears, the hard work. They feel like their coaches abandoned them now at this point. I'm sure that's how they feel in some respects. But
yeah, that's the part I get. Your head coach with you in the trenches all year, all of a sudden gone, and then you hear the reasons why he may be gone. Wow.
Right. But if Union is to win this game against Ridgeview, which I'm predicting they will, you have the opposite outcome. They would host Glenver in the state semis based on the higher power rating. If not, Glenver will get to host Ridgeview. I do think it might come to an end next week because Glenver right now, I think Glenver's defense, we talk about defense is not getting, the respect where it gets thrown around enough. Are we respecting Oscar Smith enough or Morey enough or Stonebridge enough? I'm not sure we're respecting the Glenver defense enough and some of those players that they got on that side of the ball because we talk so much about Brody Doyot, and rightfully so. He's the VHSL all-time touchdown pass record setter. But guys like Nick Wilson on the line and Roland Hanks at linebacker defensive end, they've got some really good players on a defense that coming into Friday was giving up just 3.7 points per game. And to go back up to it for a second, this is why they're my pick to win Class 2, and I'm going to stay with it now that Doyot's healthy. Gretna scored 56 on Floyd County. They get shut down for 6 against Glenver. Nice talking to you. Glenver has the defense to complement that high-octane offense led by Doyot.
Yeah, I'm going with Glenvar because Doyot kids made me a definite believer.
Yeah, and that doesn't want to go down further to me in the picks, so he has to concur and take
your
knowledge. Essex and Rappahannock championship game today. We both have Essex winning it. I think we both have them winning by multiple scores as I scroll down to it on my site. Yep, 32-16 for me. You have it 33-28, so you think Rappahannock will put up a good showing. 1B, I didn't see this coming, Ed. Buffalo Gap, the Bison, knock off Riverheads after knocking off Alta Vista. They've scored 100 points the last 2 games. They were 4-6 going into the playoffs. 4-6, and they had lost 19 straight to Riverheads. And they knock off the Gladiators, and they do it by more than doubling them up. My goodness, that single wing is humming for Buffalo Gap.
I got nothing to say on this one. I thought Riverheads all the way, and credit to Buffalo Gap.
We had it 42-14, Big Red. You had it 31. I had it 31-6. You had it 42-14. That is the shocker of the postseason, that they were 4-6, and they score 100 points over 8 quarters against Alta Vista and Riverheads. Anybody who saw that, you can go buy your lotto ticket now because I didn't see it happening.
I didn't either. I mean, I made that pick quicker than any pick I've made. And
that's the stunner.
Congrats, Buffalo Gap, and keep it going.
Bigger long shot than the Pacers making the NBA Finals last year, that's for sure. Grayson County over George Wythe, 42-15. I tried to warn you, Ed. You took Wythe, who won their first match by 2, but what a job by that Grayson County rushing attack. So much so that, listen to the numbers from a sophomore, Dazion Thompson, and a junior in Parker Dowell that they put up running the football against old George Wythe. Dazion Thompson, 13 rushes for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. Parker Dowell, the junior, 13 carries for 177 and 3 touchdowns. They run the ball 35 times for 515 yards. That's going up and down the full length of the football field more than 5 times. That's why they scored so many points, and that's why they won easily, 42-15.
Wow, 500 yards, over 500 yards.
Rushing.
Just rushing. Oh, man. That you hope to get that in the total yards, which would be something that doesn't normally occur. They got it just on rushing. That's amazing.
Speaking of surprises, we did mention that the one possible weakness for Eastside would be its inexperience, not having any senior leadership whatsoever. They have no seniors on the entire football roster. Well, they end up throwing the football a little bit too much in the cold in the conditions against Rye Cove, whose defense was ready for them. In fact, Rye Cove beats them 32-12 behind Maverick Crest's 3 interceptions. Maverick Crest makes a name for himself similar to how Vicente Chavaria did for Thomas Dill last week with the 99-yard pick six. You get not one, not two, but 3 INTs against an undefeated team, and you help your team win by 20. Good news there, as Rye Cove, who lost to Eastside in the first regular season meeting, that was a game that Eastside won somewhat comfortably. Now Rye Cove is going back to the state semis where they'll see Grayson County, who beat them last year.
Yeah, man, I feel for Eastside. You get your first loss right in the state tournament, where right before the state tournament, and they've been putting points on the board. I mean, they're scoring at ease, and this time they just kind of get stymied.
Buffalo Gap is the Cinderella. They'll travel to either Essex or Rappahannock, while Rye Cove, we understand, will host Grayson County based on the higher power rating. I won't be surprised if Rye Cove wins the rematch with Grayson County this time around, but they better have the run defense ready because of what Grayson County did on George Wythe. Now, I don't see them running for 500 yards on Rye Cove, and if they can make Grayson throw it, they just got one kid that intercepted 3 passes. But push comes to shove, I think this is Essex's to take. I think Essex and Rappahannock are too athletic for Buffalo Gap, the Cinderella here, and I think the 1A champ will take this. I do.
Yeah, I would go Essex over Buffalo Gap for sure. Prove me wrong a second time, Gap. I'm with you. I'm not sure what I'm doing Grayson County, Ryan Cove yet.
No, you're not sure. You have to ponder it.
I gotta talk to some people. I gotta have my people talk with your people, and then I'm gonna look at it.
Okay. That is fair enough. Fair enough. When we come back, we will close out this edition of 757 Sports Talk with the NFL picks. And you see what happened last week, Ed. It was beautiful. It's a sight. It was not a sight for sore eyes. It was a great sight. 2-1 for me, 1-2 for you and Bruce for the second straight week. We keep having 2-1 weeks for me and 1-2 weeks for you guys. My lead grows, and so does your deficits. And I smile more.
Yeah, I'm giving it to you. You can rub it in because this has been a horrendous year for me picking pros for sure. I don't have any confidence in doing it again this week. I'm like the Raiders. I'm just riding it out. Ride like the wind. Da 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 da. Christopher Cross. Da 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 da. All right, we'll take a timeout. It is 757 Sports Talk, and you're watching with us on Cova Sports TV, where we say like, share, and subscribe. It's free. You can subscribe, Ed. It's free. If it's free, it's me. Now this from those that help make it possible. Stay tuned.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 Bacon Cheeseburger Meal Deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 Meal Deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk.
Usually it's Hatfield. That's why I try to tell everybody, get on Hatfield. He is the legal scribe, the talking head that knows all this, puts the whammies on. We do things different on this podcast. That's why we're rated number 3 in the state.
You got Play-Doh? Get out of here! We got people all over the globe watching with us. Sitting in a phone booth with you would be very...
well, no, we got to have your own phone booth. I'm not sitting in no phone booth with you.
It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Alexa, do you like me?
I think you're magnificent. Oh, I appreciate that.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Alexa thinks I'm magnificent. Must be. Oh, wait. Now she's saying she's not sure how to help me with that. Hold on a second. Hold on, Alexa. Alexa, mute yourself. Alexa, mute. All right. Into mute. Music was playing. Didn't like that.
I'd rather be the other way. Let Alexa and I do the picks and you mute yourself.
No, we don't need her help. Right now, everything's A-okay. We showed you before we went to break. The standings, 2-1 for me last week, 1-2 for Brucey and Edward. Updating the year totals to 19-17. 3-game cushion on Mr. Pearl and a 5-game cushion on Mr. EVY. Let's show you what Bruce has got cooking for week 13. What's he got cooking in the fryer? Carolina, also known as Carolina. He's taking them. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina for a Panthers football game. Well, they're a 10.5-point dog. I'm not sure if it's going to be fine for them. They are at home, though, against the visiting Los Angeles Rams, arguably the best team in the NFC right now. He's also taken the Miami, you've got style. I know, I'm putting Ed to sleep with my singing. So he's nodding off, wanting to go away. The Dolphins are a 5.5-point favorite to the visiting Saints, who play better in the dome at home than they do on the road. And his last pick, we might put a checker on a checker with this one, Brucey. He's got the Pats eyeing that number 1 seed in the American Football Conference, taking on the lowly New York Football Giants, who are 2-10. Is Jackson Dart coming back? I'm not sure, Ed. But the Pats are laying for Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC, 7.5 right now. So we got the little hook there that could hurt them. But those are Bruce's selections for this particular week in the National Football League. So, without further ado, I get to make the first selection against you as we go through the games. I sent you the odds, so don't complain you don't have them because they've been sent to you. They're at your fingertips, at your disposal. And my first selection is going to be an over-under, sir. Are you surprised at that?
No.
Well, last week it was an over-under, which I won on with Cleveland and Las Vegas being under 36.5. It was 34, 24-10 Brownies. Won on the Packers minus 6.5 against the Vikes. Lost by 0.5 point with the Chiefs, winning in overtime over the Colts, 23-20. So for my first selection here, I will take an under, yet again, an AFC South tilt as Houston travels to Indy against the Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor-led Colts. I think it will stay under the 44.5. Give me under 44.5 for Houston and Indy. I do not see more than 6 touchdowns being scored in this game. And that's the max. That's pick number 1 for the National Football League as Michigan has the early 3-0 lead behind Bryce Underwood against the Buckeyes at home in the Big House. Ed, what pick do you have for your first choice?
Now, I can't go to what you sent me because it'll cut me off the show.
Oh, goodness.
So, that's okay. I'm trying to read the scroll, so I should be okay.
It would take you all of 5 minutes to do homework on this. 5 minutes pre-show or post Friday night rendezvous or whatever you got going on Friday night.
Friday night, last night, I was in bed at 7:15.
This is rendezvous. Rendezvous.
I was in.
What's your first?
I was in bed. What is the spread on the Tampa Bay game?
Well, Bedhead, the spread is Tampa Bay minus 3.5 at home against my Cardinals.
Give me Tampa Bay.
I knew you would do that just to irk me.
And what's the spread, Houston, Indy? I know you took over and under on that. What's the spread?
I did take the over under. The spread right now is 3.5 in favor of the Colts.
Give me Houston.
You're going to go with Houston. Plus the 3.5, huh?
Yep.
All right. He's got the Bucks laying 3.5 and the Texans getting 3.5. All right. For my next choice, there are some dogs that I think will be barking here. Cleveland, San Francisco is really interesting to me because a couple years ago, Cleveland won at home. They're getting 5.5. Brock Purdy's been throwing INTs, a lot of them. Falcons, Jets is interesting to me. The Seattle number is a little high. Bills, Steelers is a classic stay-away game for me. And then Denver, Washington is intriguing to me. Denver has had so many. I think I vowed off picking them earlier this year, but I'm going to go back to the well here. Yeah, I'm going back to the well. And I'm going to take the Denver Broncos minus 5.5 at a Washington team that I think is a dead team walking. They haven't won in forever. And I think the Broncos closing in on an AFC West crown. The one thing that worries me is they could win this but not cover the spread and do it by a field goal because they've played down to some teams and certainly up to some competition as well. But I will take them against the 3-8 Commanders to come through for me in the pinch, in the clutch, if you will. Gives me something to be entertained by for Sunday Night Football. That Carolina pick is a shrewd pick by Bruce. I liked that one. The one I don't like so much is the Giants and the Pats. I really don't like this. I think the Pats are overdue for a flat game. They're a good football team, but they're not a great football team to me. Drake May is an MVP candidate. Mike Vrabel's a Coach of the Year candidate. But I think the Giants can move the ball, whether it's Jameis Winston or Jackson Dart, and 7.5 is a big number. I will take a rare dog here and hope I get the backdoor cover, even if it's down 14, they score to make it a 7-point game. As Michigan goes for a second field goal now to extend its lead to 6-0 on the Buckeyes on 4th and 6 with over 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. And they lead it 6-0 against the Buckeyes, who continue to have their troubles against the hated rival.
Let me ask you a question. If Ohio State loses,
oh, here you go.
Who's number one? Indiana, right?
The other you're going to ask me is Ryan Day in trouble, which is your classic every time they lose to Michigan. If they lose, yes, Indiana has to be number one because A&M just lost to Texas.
And can you imagine the Ohio State fan base on their way to trying to win a national title again, lose to Michigan? I want Ryan Day's going to have to go into hiding.
Well, but here, let's go a step further. If Michigan wins this game, does Michigan have to be considered for the college football playoff? I think they would have to.
How many losses do they have?
They've got 3.
No.
Wait, Texas has got 3 and are being considered. Hold on, and nobody's going to have a better win. Nobody's going to have a better win than beating Ohio State.
No, Texas should not be considered. You got 3 losses. Talk all that yin-yang you want. Well, we just beat A&M.
Yin-yang?
Right. No, man.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. I misspoke. I'm sorry. They have 2 losses. 2 losses, not 3. They have 2. They have two. They've lost to Oklahoma by 11 and USC by 18, both on the road. So they have 2 losses. 2 losses.
And those aren't bad losses because I think both of those teams, only have 2 losses. So,
no, USC
has 3.
Has 3, I think. Let me double check it here. Yeah, they have 3. USC lost to Illinois, Oregon, and Notre Dame. In the case of Oklahoma, it currently stands at 2 or 3. Oklahoma's got 2. They lost to Texas and Ole Miss. So Texas will have beaten A&M and Oklahoma. Those 2 teams, and you want them out. You want them out. No chance. Out.
Texas losses to.
Texas lost to a really good Georgia football team.
Ohio State.
Texas lost to a really good Ohio State football team. And then they lost by 8 in Gainesville to the Gators. That loss hurts them because Florida's 3-8 and struggling and stinking up the joint.
It hurt them. That's the one that is hurt.
Loss that stinks up the joint.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't want 5 teams for one conference playing for the national title.
Well, you don't have to like it. It's going to happen whether you want 5 from the SEC or not. They might even get 6 if they can. If somehow Notre Dame was to slip on a banana peel, they would have got 6. They don't care because the SEC rules the universe, whether you like it, I like it, or anybody likes it. That's the Southeastern Conference, and they've stuck their flag in the ground and said, What's your last NFL pick, sir, as you've done enough stalling for time with your selections of Tampa Bay minus 3.5 and Houston plus 3.5?
Give me, I don't care what the point spread is, give me the Chargers over the Raiders.
You want the Chargers over the Raiders. You've lost faith in Las Vegas, huh? It's 9.5.
What is it?
9.5. They can cover that.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
Raiders are rough, though. You don't want it now? You want to get off it?
I thought I saw earlier in the week it was 7.5. It went up to 9.
It probably was. It's 9.5. We weren't doing the show earlier in the week. We're doing it now. We could have, by the way, had we done Turkey Day picks, we would have gone over because all 4 Bow Wows were barking and winning. As the Bears beat the Eagles, the Packers go to beat Detroit for a second time this season, and Dallas defeating KC on Thanksgiving. But the big center was Cincinnati beating Baltimore in Baltimore by double figs. Joe Burrow comes back, looks great. Baltimore turns the ball over like it's hotcakes. And I was just saying last week, I thought the Ravens are the most dangerous team in the AFC. Not now. They lose to the Bengals, who could, if they go beat the Steelers head up again and the Ravens head up again, they could come from the dead and win the AFC North.
That's amazing. I did pick Cowboys over Chiefs, but that was the only game I got remotely close in the turkey stuff.
Now, can Dallas, a game out in the loss, can they catch the Eagles for the NFC East? They have a better division record, and they split head-to-head.
And the Eagles are flying low, and Cowboys are starting to ride a little bit high.
How about if Detroit goes and beats Detroit, and they win 3 straight over the 3 best records in football last year with the Eagles, Chiefs, 2 Super Bowl participants, and Detroit? How about if they do that?
You know, and I wouldn't put it past them. I think they're really, really hot these last 3 weeks. And it looks like they finally got it all together on all 3 aspects of play: offense, defense, special team. So
Quentin Williams on defensive line made a big difference, hasn't he?
Yes. I think and Clark, the guy they got for Parson in a trade, has been solid all year for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, Cowboys, I got to give them credit. I mean, the division, Eagles are flying low, and Commanders and Giants have done nothing. So,
well, remember those losses that were deemed bad losses by 17 at Chicago and by 3 at Carolina are not so bad anymore because Chicago's winning the NFC North at the moment, and Carolina's still in playoff contention. The one bad loss, they lost to Denver by 20, but they lost to my Cardinals by 10 at home on Monday Night Football. That was a bad loss. That loss could come back to haunt them for the playoffs. But these wins over KC and Philly, 3-game win streak, keeping them alive. And after the Detroit game, they got the Vikes and Chargers at home, at Washington, the Giants. I'm not saying they run the table, but they got a good chance. They could sneak in there, sneak in the back door.
Yeah, I do. I think they got an excellent shot at doing that. I got to make my last pick. That 9 scares me.
Are you going off the Chargers here? You're not taking it now?
What's the over and under on the Charger game?
Oh, this is going to get them in trouble. It's 40.5.
Raiders not going to score a lot. Chargers could.
Which is why you should lay the 9.5. Do it. Press the button. As the girls said in Rush Hour, press the button. Oh, by the way, how about that? Rush Hour is doing a 4th Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. I'm waiting for that.
I know it's about time. I thought they'd given up hope on it, so that's good. They'd said they were going to do another one.
President Trump inserted his will to get it happen. Now, if I can get President Trump to insert his will to get me more movies I want made, then we'll be great. We'll be great shape. Great shape. I'm going to call him up. Make these movies.
He's got a little bit more worried about than making movies or getting movies set.
Oh, okay. Enough of your political banter. Give me your 3rd pick. Stop stalling. Make a pick. Make a pick.
Oh, man. I don't even know who's the Falcons playing this week?
You don't even want to take the Chargers. Oh, my gosh. The Falcons are playing at the Jets, laying 2.5. You want the Falcons with Captain Kirk?
Yeah, give me Kirk and the boys, Lieutenant Hooteran and all them, and Scotty, beam me up. Give me the Falcons.
All right, so to recap, Ed's taking the Falcons laying 2.5, the Bucs laying 3.5, a couple of NFC South teams and an AFC South team getting points in Houston plus 3.5. I have under 44.5 in that Colts-Texans AFC South tilt. I said tip. Tilt to go with the Giants. Another blooper, folks. That goes up there with Josh Sweat's sacks that we had a couple years ago. Giants plus 7.5 and Denver minus the 5.5. And as for Brucey, he's got on the screen there Carolina plus the 10.5, Miami laying 5.5, and New England minus 7.5. We go checker on a checker with the Giants, G-Men, and the Pats. That's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Bringing it to you for the coach, Ed Young, and all of our guests, which include the likes of Brandon Carr of Indian River, his players, and standouts such as Jason Preston and Corey Sanderlin. as well as Oscar Smith coach Chris Scott, Lonnie Andrews III, Travis Johnson, plus Carter Jones of the Poquoson Bull Islanders. I'm Matt Hatfield. Who are you?
I'm the coach, Ed Young. And by the way, it all starts this week. High school basketball, December 1st on, we're in.
I've been getting asked time and time again, when are the previews coming up on Virginia Preps? They'll be up this week. The top 10 rankings, all that info, it's coming your way. So like, share, and subscribe to that website on the Rivals Network and on 3 Sports. And also like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV. Bon voyage to November, and we'll talk to you again in the month of December. See you later, alligators.